Good evening. We are bringing you commentary of Belgium against Portugal today from Euro 2020 last 16 clash. I'm your alternative host, Russ Vernon, and I'm joined by the alternative commentator, Matt Isles, and you're listening to the commentary of. Earlier this evening, we saw Czech Republic dump out the Netherlands and take on Denmark in their quarter-final clash at 5 o'clock on Saturday, where Matt Isles will be bringing you commentary over that one. Make sure you tune in to hear him then, and you'll be hearing him on this broadcast as well. Got a few more games in the round of 16 to go first to finalise those quarter-final ties, and to discuss this next one and provide you some excellent commentary on this next one. We'll say very good evening, first and foremost, to Matt Isles. And Matt, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, Russ. Looking forward to this game. How are you?
All good, mate. Thank you, Fresh, from providing commentary on the last game, which the Czech Republic stunned the Netherlands and knocked them out of the competition. And for the entire game, I thought overall, the Czech Republic deserved to win this game this evening that we've just started. This game should be a cracking game. Both teams really like to go and win the competition in the end. It'll be interesting to see which side does go through to the next round and play Italy on Friday evening at 8 o'clock. And it should be a good game, this one. Lukaku up against CR7, and it'll be interesting to see who will come out on top. And while we wait for the teams to emerge from the tunnel, Matt, who do you think will come out on top? Will it be CR7 or will it be Romelu Lukaku this evening, in your opinion?
Well, I think the one thing is, both sides have got a proven goal scorer at international level, and I think that is going to be a significant part. They've had their chances, both these two, and they've put the ball in the back of the net when they've had it presented to them in this tournament so far. So it's going to be very difficult to determine who's going to be the best one at the two of them, because, of course, they need to get the service, they need to get the chances. And you think with Belgium, they create a lot more opportunities, given that is their game all over, isn't it? Rather than Portugal's is very much trying to, be big and bold on the counter attack. So it's going to be interesting to see which player gets the service, and I think we'll hopefully see that in the first half, and that'll be quite an interesting thing to see.
Yes, it will be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to watch as well. And also in the Belgium side is the brothers Eden and Thorgan Hazard, both playing down the left-hand side, up against Bernardo Silva, Jan Moutinho and Diogo Dalot. And I think, looking down the left-hand side for Belgium, right-hand side for Portugal, I think Dalot needs to be on his game to stop both Hazards having a field day, especially Eden, who's used to having a field day down that side, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key thing as well for Diogo Dalot is he's not going to stop both brothers on his own, is he? He's going to need some help. And I think, Bernardo Silva is playing on that side, is going to have to really help him out, put a real shift in on that right-hand side, give him a lot of help. Because obviously, as we know, Thorgan Hazard and Eden Hazard have both had a bit of a say, and they've both looked really sharp in this tournament. And they're going to be key for Belgium, as you rightly pointed out, Russ.
They are indeed, Matt. And who do you reckon is going to be the key man for both sides today? We've touched on Ronaldo and Lukaku. We've touched on Eden Hazard and Thorgan Hazard. Who do you think is going to be the key man in both sides in this evening's match?
I think you look at Belgium, I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to be a key player for them, isn't he? I mean, that Denmark game when he first came back into this Belgium side after his horrific injury, the Champions League final, he came on and he gave a different outlook, and they won the game with an assist and a goal. So he's going to be crucial. You look at the Portugal side, I think, Diogo Jota had a good game against Germany, in which he got a goal and he got an assist. I think he, in the last game was quite disappointing. I think he needs to probably link up a little bit better with Ronaldo. I think Bernardo Silva's got a chance to really show what he's about. So them two in particular, but if you had to really dim it down and pick one, I'd pick Diogo Jota for me. We know his quality. I think he just needs to be a bit more attacking, a bit more direct, and link up with his three attackers. And I think if he's able to do that, he can be a real key player for this Portuguese side tonight.
Yes, and one quick question, which is coming from one of our viewers, Paul James, who, as the teams are getting ready to come out of the tunnel, Matt, he says, this is going to be a super game. My question is, what is Portugal going to do about Kevin De Bruyne?
Well, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously going to play out on the right-hand side of the three, but he's going to very much play in the middle, isn't he? And slide balls through to Eden Hazard and Romelu Lukaku. So I think you look at Moutinho and Palhinha, they're two defensive midfielders. I think they'll be given the order to just keep him quiet, man-mark him, and make sure he doesn't dictate the game and run things for Belgium.
Yes, as the players made their way out onto the field of play, we'll hand over now to your match commentator, Matt Isles.
Thank you very much, Russ. Portugal, the current European champions, currently hold this trophy in their grasp. And against a side tonight in Belgium, who are one of the few sides that want to take it off them and not allow Fernando Santos' side to retain it. Portugal had a sketchy group stage. Belgium were practically flawless. 3 wins out of 3. Portugal, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. But they did the job against France, got that point that sent them through to tonight's match in Seville, which of course is not too far away for them, rather than their opponents, of course, in Belgium. Bemoaned by the fact they've had 2 days less to prepare for this game. The Belgians, of course, rested several players. They're coming back into the side now. We'll find out how the game fares in the first half, but first, the anthems. So that's the anthems done. It does feel like there's a majority crowd of Portuguese over Belgian fans tonight. Of course, it is practically on the doorstep, isn't it? Portugal and Spain, of course, where this game is being played to tonight in Seville and the Estadio La Cartuja. And of course, it's the first time that both these sides this tournament have ventured to this part of the world, of course. Belgium have done more of the travelling. St. Petersburg to Copenhagen, back to St. Petersburg. Portugal have gone Budapest to Munich to Budapest, but of course now they meet in Seville. Let's go through the two lineups. Belgium make 5 changes to the side that played Finland on Monday night with a comfortable 2-0 victory. Thibaut Courtois retains his place in goal. It's the usual back three of Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen and Thomas Vermaelen who keeps his place. Toby Alderweireld replaces Jason Denayer and Dedrick Boyata comes out as Jan Vertonghen, Belgium's most capped player ever, comes back into the centre of the 3-man defence. They've gone with the 4 of Thomas Meunier at right wing back, Yuri Tielemans, Axel Witsel as the central midfielders, with Torgan Hazard as the left wing back, as Meunier replaces Leandro Trossard. Nasser Chad is replaced by Torgan Hazard, and coming in for Jeremy Doku is Torgan Hazard, and De Bruyne, Lukaku and Hazard, Eden that is, are the 3 up front. Simon Mignolet, Matt Sells, Dedrick Boyata, Jason Denayer, Leander De Donker, Yannick Carrasco, Dries Mertens, Leandro Trossard, Jeremy Doku, Dennis Praet, Christian Benteke and Michy Batshuayi, the 12 subs. For Portugal, they make 2 changes to the side that drew 2-2 with France. Rui Patricio is in goal. Diogo Dalot comes in the place of Nelson Semedo, who picked up a knock in that game on Wednesday night and isn't fit enough to start. Dalot makes his full debut as a Portuguese international as Diaz, Pepe and Guerreiro partner him in the defence. It's a 3 midfielders, João Moutinho, João Palhinha and Renato Sanchez. Palhinha replaces Danilo Pereira on the bench, and the 3 of Bernardo Silva, Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota. As the Belgian players take the knee, as do the Portuguese players, officials and staff, as the message to fight racism is loud and very clear. It will be Belgium to get us underway as they're going to go from left to right. Romelu Lukaku in the centre circle as he's going to knock it back to Axel Witsel. We're underway. The Portuguese subs, incidentally, Anthony Lopez, Rui Silva, Jose Font, Nelson Semedo, Nuno Mendes, Bruno Fernandes, Danilo, Ruben Neves, Pedro Gonçalves, Sergio Oliveira, João Felix and Andre Silva. Well, Belgium have shown to people why they are the best side in the world in the group stages. But now here comes the real test as they face the European champions, Portugal, who have looked shaky at the back, but have shown what they're about going forward. And they possess a man who's on the verge of history tonight in Ronaldo as he looks to surpass Ali Daei's 109 goals at international level and become the most scored international player in football history. As Belgium have possession in the opening sort of 50 seconds. Down the line it is to Torgan Hazard. Attacking this left-hand side, Bernardo Silva's come across to defend it. Into the middle, who goes now to Kevin De Bruyne. He's been so instrumental for Belgium since he came back into the fold. He missed their 3-0 win over Russia. It wasn't like they needed him. And then against Denmark, where he was on the bench and a goal down, he came on and just changed the game in the second half, which saw him get an assist and score a goal. So his impact has been massive ever since he was introduced at these European Championships. Toby Alderweireld with the clip ball forward down the middle, looking for Lukaku. Diaz away, heads it to his Manchester City teammate, and on opposite sides tonight, De Bruyne, but Portugal defend it well. As Renato Sanchez had a really good game on Wednesday against France. The first half, he was the sort of go-to man in the middle for the attacks, and then the defensive side in the second half, where Portugal were just intent on trying to hold on to a 2-2 draw. He was very important for them as Rafael Guerreiro now has the ball. Gives it to Ruben Diaz. The winner of this, remember, plays Italy in the quarterfinals on Friday night, I should add. And they will be playing that game in Munich, a venue that Portugal have already played in before in this tournament. They'll be hoping that they can play there again. 2 minutes gone. Belgium 0, Portugal 0. And the game listening to on the Commentary Hub. We are live on YouTube. On our Commentary Hub channel, we're live on JB Sports, our partner for these European Championships. And we're also live on the Commentary Live Periscope, Mike Harneman's YouTube, and Russ Vernon's Twitch. As the header from the right-hand side is by Dallows. He looks to try and just head it to Bernardo Silva, but it's gone all the way through to the goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois. Well, Roberto Martinez is Belgium's most successful manager in history based on points and results. He, of course, has been in charge since Mark Wilmot's left after Euro 2016. And of course, he knows that this Belgian side that many label as the best in the world based on the rankings, and in terms of their starting 11, they need to fulfill their potential and, of course, become the champions of Europe, as it's a throw on the right-hand side with Bernardo Silva just throwing the ball to Diogo Dalot, who takes it and throws it back to Pepe. Now to Cristiano Ronaldo. 5 goals for him in the tournament already against Germany, France and Hungary respectively. Here he is on the ball on the right-hand side. Just flicks over the head of Marlon, but it's defended well by Torgan Hazard, who's certainly got on with his toes tonight, the left wing-back position for Belgium. Pepe has it again as he then just plays it to Ruben Diaz, his centre-back partner. Guerrero's made a lot of space out on the left-hand side to receive it, but he goes in the middle, Diaz to João Palhinha. Now Guerrero does have it. Now Renato Sanchez to Pepe. It's Portugal. We're having a lot of the ball so far. Sorry, it's not on Russ Vernon's Twitch, I should add. It's on the official Twitch channel. I do beg your pardon for that mistake. As Rui Patricio now has it. We're in all green tonight, incidentally. Belgium in all red. Portugal in their away strip, of course, due to the fact that they are going to be in a kit clash should they wear their home strip. It's sort of a light blue with a lot of sort of black and dark red on the shirt. And then, of course, they're wearing those light blue shorts and light blue socks, of course, with the black, the burgundy and the green sort of outline. Sort of just going around the middle of the sock as João Moutinho was dispossessed. And Belgium have a throw-in inside their own half just before the halfway line on the left-hand side. 5 minutes gone. Belgium 0, Portugal 0. Who would become the 4th side to reach the quarterfinals? We've seen Czech Republic today go through, shocking the Netherlands. We saw Italy get through last night. Here's Sanchez. Now Diogo Jota's on the edge of the box. He opens up and shoots, but he's hit it wide of Thibaut Courtois' goal. Just like that, Portugal found a way through. It was Renato Sanchez who gave it to Diogo Jota, and in that position, you would have fancied Jota to at least hit the target. Yeah, Sanchez with a really good run. Just powers his way through. He's got no Belgian player really around him, and Jota's made a really good run. And I think that sliding challenge from one of the Belgian defenders, I think it was actually Alderweireld, really put him off, and he's just put a shot wide of Courtois' right-hand side. Now, Diogo Jota has already got a goal in this tournament. He scored against Germany in the 4-2 defeat. And of course, he got the assist for Ronaldo's 3rd goal of the tournament in that very same game. So he's shown that he's capable of being a real key player for Portugal, as Tielemans just tries to play it out to the right to Thomas Meunier of Borussia Dortmund, but he's not able to get it under control. It's Rafael Guerreiro who's on his side, that Meunier is going to be attacking in. Of course, he's a teammate of his in Germany at the very same club, as Guerreiro tries to throw it to Jota. Meunier steps in and gets the foot in there first. Now De Bruyne to Lukaku. Tries to play it through to Hazard. Didn't quite able to feed it through to the Belgian skipper, as Diaz then plays it to Diogo Jota. The man in the middle tonight is from Germany, Dr. Felix Breich. His assistants are Mark Borsch and Stefan Lupp. And the 4th official is Georgi Kabakov. And the VARs, of course, are all German. Marco Fritz is the main VAR. VAR assistant 1 is Christian Dingert. VAR assistant 2 is Christian Gittelmann. And VAR assistant 3 is Bastien Dankert, as the Belgians have a throw on the right-hand side, with Thomas Meunier going to take it. Well, both these sides had very different tests in the group stages. Belgians was very comfortable. They, of course, did have that real shaky first half against Denmark, which they did pass with flying colours due to a really commanding second half performance. The Portuguese beat Hungary, which was something they should have done. That pretty much set them in good stead for the remaining 2 games in the group. They got well beat by Germany, in which they really got out-thought and outclassed in every department. And then, of course, against the French, they worked hard to get 2 penalties and, of course, draw the game 2-2 against the world champions, as Alderweireld now has the ball. Coming short for it is Youri Tielemans. We have often seen him do that for Leicester City, a key player for his country as well, under Roberto Martinez. Torgan Hazard just getting away from Bernardo Silva, but going a long way back, plays it in the middle to Tielemans, who then turns and knocks it out wide to Munier on this right-hand side. That is a lovely ball. Now he's going to take on Guerrero. Lukaku's the furthest man ahead. He crosses into the back post, looks for Lukaku, but it's over his head. And over onto the left-hand side now with Torgan Hazard, who keeps it in play. Now he plays it to Witsel, who's come up in support. Tielemans, now De Bruyne, as we said, coming in from that right-hand side, isn't it, De Bruyne? So effectively, you could almost say that they're almost playing very, very narrow, aren't they? Tielemans tries to slide it through. He's gone off Pepe, but straight into the path of Witsel. He's about 20 yards from goal, goes back to his defender, Thomas Vermaelen. Now Vermaelen, who's in the centre of the three with him, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, all in their 30s, and all have been players in the Belgian side for 10 plus years. It's now Vertonghen has it. Now Eden Hazard to Axel Witsel, just a short pass to his right. Now Alderweireld. Both sides happy to allow the other one to have the ball. A lot of respect is being shown by these two nations. Munier is the target on the right-hand flank. He's been found. Lets the ball bounce and then crosses in, looking for Lukaku. Away by Ruben Diaz. Hazard, that is Eden. Knocks it to Axel Witsel. Now Eden Hazard. Shakes off Joao Moutinho. Now he gives it to Lukaku. Eden Hazard gets it back. Takes it on first time on the edge of the box. But he skies it over the crossbar. That's what Eden Hazard can do. He gives it to Lukaku immediately before that ball's been played to Lukaku. He wants to give the return to Eden Hazard, and he just slipped through the net there, didn't he? As soon as he got round Moutinho wasn't quick enough to get near him, and then obviously Eden Hazard just tries to bend it beyond Rui Patricio. We've seen him do that a lot during his Chelsea days, and was off target with that and very unsuccessful. 10 minutes gone. Belgium 0, Portugal 0 in the fourth round of 16 match in these European Championships. We've, as I mentioned, seen Denmark go through. They beat Wales very convincingly, 4-0 in Amsterdam. Italy left it late at Wembley last night to beat Austria in extra time with Chiesa and Piscina scoring. Sasha Kalajdzic's goal wasn't enough for Austria to spark a comeback as they heading home. And then Czech Republic beat 10-man Holland by 2-0 in Budapest to set up the quarter-final against Denmark, which is, of course, being played next Saturday. Away by Vermaelen, he gets above Ronaldo, goes through to Guerrero, the Portuguese left-back inside his own half, plays it forward, but it's hit Kevin De Bruyne and gone out of play for a Portugal throw down the left-hand side, which Guerrero is going to take. Looks down the line for Ronaldo. Great leap by Ronaldo. Tries to head it back into the middle of play, but Tielemans is the man who can only head it to. Now, Vertonghen to Torgan Hazard, who's had to fill in as a left wing back due to Timothy Castagne's double eye socket fracture that he suffered in the opening match against Russia when he collided with Daler Kujaev. And obviously he had to go off, and then Roberto Martinez has tried Torgan Hazard there for Finland in their last group game. Nasser Chadli played there, because he has played there before. I remember in the World Cup, I can picture the Tottenham and former West Brom midfielder playing there. Here is now De Bruyne. Belgium will just look to give him the ball at every possible turn, wouldn't they? As he then plays it short to Torgan Hazard. Now he sprays it into the middle to Alderweireld. Good first touch. He's going to clip it down to the other left-hand flank. Looks for Eden Hazard. Him and his brother Torgan just sort of get in the way of each other, but Eden Hazard and Torgan are able to just move away from each other as Eden plays it to De Bruyne. He gets it back from Witsel, does Kevin De Bruyne. Portugal standing firm as they're maintaining their shape. Alderweireld, it's got to be so important for Portugal that they don't allow Lukaku, Hazard or De Bruyne the opportunity to create chances and get big moments in the game. They have looked shaky at the back. Of course, against the French, they were cut open with that Benzema goal, and then against the Germans, the wing-backs of Gosens and Kimmich caused them serious problems. Be hoping that tonight it can be a near faultless performance as they once again face wing-backs in Munier and Torgan Hazard. Here is now Witsel, as it's so far just a game of keep ball for Belgium in the opening sort of 13 minutes. Witsel gets it in the middle from Alderweireld. Now to the right with Alderweireld again. Meunier. Tielemans makes the run down the line. Meunier tried to find him, but Guerrero blocks the intended pass down the left-hand side. And he's gone out for a Belgium throw. Well, Portugal's manager, Fernando Santos, is in a third consecutive European Championship knockout stage. He was with the Greek national team 9 years ago, where, of course, they were well beat by Germany. And, of course, 2016, we know what happened there as he led his beloved Portugal and the country of his birth to the European Championships in France. De Bruyne with the cross in, looking for Lukaku. Headed away by Diaz. Lukaku made the run into the middle, right on the penalty spot he was. And then getting up above Ronaldo was Jan Vertonghen. And then it slid through by Diogo Dalot to Bernardo Silva. He comes in the middle to Ronaldo. Now, Diogo Dalot making just his second appearance for the national side tonight. And of course, was actually on holiday when he received the call that Joao Cancelo couldn't be in the tournament due to him tested positive for COVID. So, talk about an unexpected stroke of fortune. Almost echoes of the Danish side, isn't it? Where probably some of their players are on their summer holidays, lying on the sunbeds in 1992, and then they ended up winning the trophy in neighbouring Scandinavian country Sweden. Here is Pepe. Nothing to say yet in terms of goalmouth action, as the only chance I've noticed fallen to Diogo Jota as he hit the shot that he got from Renato Sanchez in the box on his favoured sort of left foot, but he went on the outside rather than going on the inside and was off target as Thibaut Courtois could see it beyond his goal. Pepe then sprays the ball, looking to get the Liverpool man Diogo Jota I was just talking about on the go, but it's gone out of play for a Belgian throw. Remember, we've got more live action to come on the commentary hub tomorrow. We have Mike Arneman bringing you Croatia versus Spain in Copenhagen, a repeat of when they met in the group stages 5 years ago, and Croatia came out on top. And the big early news from that is that Ivan Perisic is out of the game and out of the tournament due to him tested positive for COVID. Should Croatia, of course, continue in the tournament. Lukaku wants a free kick because he felt he was barred in the back by Pepe in the middle of the pitch. Referee says no. Dr. Felix Breich of Germany. Here is now Diogo Jota. And, of course, the other game tomorrow is in Bucharest, where France, the Group F winners, who are in Portugal's group member, take on the third place side in Group A in Switzerland. Both games live on the commentary hub and our various platforms. Here's Renato Sanchez, 15 and a half minutes played. Belgium 0, Portugal 0. Both sides now very settled in this game. Now will we see a change of emphasis in this one? It's Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese skipper, looking to make another bit of history, isn't he, tonight, by becoming international football's greatest ever goal scorer. Ali Daya is very much sitting at home, just trying to make sure Ronaldo just doesn't do it tonight. Dalot into Moutinho. Heavy touch. Witsel comes in and Moutinho and Witsel collide as they both went in 50-50. I think they've both come off as bad as each other in that case. It's pretty easy to spot Axel Witsel given the haircut that we've seen him grown to. And Moutinho does get the ball. The follow-through catches the right ankle of Axel Witsel. They do hurt if the studs go into your ankle. Roberto Martinez was shouting for a foul, as Wits was probably in a bit of discomfort for a little bit of time, as is Moutinho of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And there is that break in play, of course, due to that injury. If you are just tuning in, it is obviously Belgium 0, Portugal 0, being played at the Estadio La Cartuja in Seville. Of course, this does bring memories for Portuguese football. Porto won the UEFA Cup final here in 2003, beating Celtic 3-2. And for both these sides, it is their first visit to Seville in this tournament. Belgium have played in St. Petersburg and Copenhagen, so they've done a lot of air miles. Portugal, of course, practically on their doorstep, as I mentioned earlier on tonight. And, of course, they've played in Budapest and in Munich. And the winner, remember, of this game gets to play at the Fußball Arena in Munich, or the Allianz Arena, the home of Bayern Munich, to play Italy, the side who left it late to beat Austria last night in the second round of 16 match there. Denmark also through, as are the Czech Republic, following their stunning win earlier against the Netherlands, in which Matthijs de Ligt was sent off. And then, of course, the Czechs scored through Tomáš Holeš and a goal from Patrick Schick to make it 4 for him in this tournament in just 4 matches. Pepe out to the right with now Diogo Dalot. Pepe now has it again. Plays it short in the middle to João Palhinha. Title winner with Sporting Lisbon in Portugal as they won their first title in 19 years. And the referee, Dr. Felix Breich, is given something here. I think he's actually given it against João Palhinha. He thought he was pushed, and then he just, as he went down under the sort of knock by Witsel, he just was blocking off Witsel, trying to win the ball. So Felix Breich, the referee, said free kick as it's taken quickly. Now it's Torgan Hazard. He's going to shoot a goal from the left wing back position. He took it inside the box, well blocked by João Palhinha. That's what he's in the team to do, is to make sure that the shot doesn't come in on his goalkeeper, Rui Patricio. And he wins a free kick as he was fouled there. And very, very good bit of defensive play by João Palhinha. Yeah, it was Torgan Hazard. They took it quickly. Portugal just got caught out a little bit. Dalot was too narrow there as Torgan Hazard was allowed to bring it in field. He gets into the box. He shoots. Luckily, Palhinha was there to just take the block and take the hit, essentially, to just not allow Torgan Hazard's shot to go on towards Rui Patricio's goal. Here is now Diogo Dalot. João Moutinho played at Euro 2008 in Austria and Switzerland, 2012, 2016, and in 2020 now. It's with Rui Patricio again. Sends this one high to the left-hand side. Ronaldo and Alderweireld competing. Alderweireld just held off the advances of Cristiano Ronaldo there and just got in front of him and just headed it sort of low and away from the defensive area. Is Ruben Diaz. The Portuguese defence have seen a lot of the balls so far. More than probably their midfielders of Sanchez and Palhinha and Moutinho. Guerrero plays it high, looking to get Ronaldo through. Is Ronaldo onside? Yes, he is. The attack is now stifled by the Belgian defence. Vermaelen comes in and intercepts, but the flag was raised anyway on that right-hand side by the assistant referee, Mark Borsch. 20 minutes gone. Belgium 0, Portugal 0. This is a game that many people were excited about. It's not actually been one that you can get excited about if you are tuning all the way in or you're just coming in. The only chance of note has been for Diogo Jota. He missed the chance from about 7-8 yards where he just tried to hit it beyond Thibaut Courtois to his left, but of course he put the shot wide. It's the game we listened to on the commentary hub, the home of alternative commentary. It's on JB Sports. Of course, the YouTube channel we're partnering for the tournament, and on the Commentary Hub's official YouTube channel as well. It's on the Commentary Live Twitch page. We're also live on Periscope. We're on various different softwares and platforms that you need to probably write them down to take note of it. And of course, as well, we're on Mike Arneman's very own personal YouTube as well, our very own colleague as well, as Meunier's got a chase to keep that ball in on the right-hand side. It's a high cross in. Big round of applause from keeping that in, but unfortunately he had to rush that cross to keep it in, and as it was headed away by a Portuguese defender, Renato Sanchez was fouled in the middle of the pitch by Kevin De Bruyne, and Portugal have a free kick which is taken quickly. Ronaldo gets it to Jota. He's now on the left-hand side. Good challenge by Yuri Tielemans. Meunier left one in on Ronaldo, who's gone down holding his face. Dr. Felix Breich, the referee, has just let play continue as Ronaldo gets back up quickly off his feet. Knew that he wasn't going to get a free kick and that Portugal weren't going to kick it out for him. So he had no choice but to get back on his feet as Portugal had possession on the left-hand side with left-back Rafael Guerreiro. Sanchez hits it and Courtois dives, but it's well away from him and is well away from the goal for that fact. Tielemans makes a really good challenge, and then Ronaldo sort of just running at sort of full pace. Meunier just sort of puts his arm in there. He hits his shoulder. I don't actually know if he catches his face there. I think Ronaldo might have been looking for that a bit, but then Sanchez tried his luck from there. Intercepted well by Diogo Dalot, who's put the high press on the Belgian defence, not to play out. Cross goes in from the right, away by Witsel. Stepping in there as Bernat as João Moutinho, but he can only pass it to Thomas Meunier, so a bit of luck there for the Belgian attack. That's a lovely ball for Eden Hazard, or it looked like it might have just gone through to him, but in the end it was not well away from the centre of the pitch and couldn't go all the way through to Hazard, and to Patricio's off his line to gather. Ball forward, looking to get Ronaldo in behind Vermaelen. That's a bit of a mismatch, isn't it, in terms of a one-on-one race between them. Ronaldo lays it back to Diogo Jota. Now Renato Sanchez might shoot again. Doesn't. Plays it to Moutinho. Goes back to João Palhinha. Sanchez gets it back again. Here's now Rafael Guerreiro. Sanchez once more. Palinha. Now to Bernardo Silva. He's looking around just to see where Diogo Dalot is, and there he is, just sort of behind him and receiving the pass. Not really seen a lot of off-the-ball movement yet from the Portuguese, apart from Ronaldo. He's tried to make the runs in behind. There's a lovely standing ball to Jota from Dalot, takes it under control. And the referee, Felix Breik, has given a free kick for a handball on Thomas Vermaelen. And he did take his time to give that and probably had to wait for the attack to sort of be dead before he could give that. Yeah, Vermaelen slides in. It does hit his arm quite clearly. Pretty obvious decision for me. And so we saw De Ligt get sent off. Certainly not the same sort of case in that regard, but certainly did hit his hand. Well, you know who's going to take this. It will be CR7. It will be Cristiano Ronaldo. A man who has carried his nation for so long. A man who, of course, they heavily rely on, has bailed them out of jail so many times. Did it on Wednesday night in Budapest. Can he score the opener here in Seville tonight? Also around the free kick is Rafael Guerreiro. But this is Ronaldo territory. There's a lot of Belgian players in the wall right in front of him. There's these 3 or 4 in there, as I can see. It is quite away from the centre, sort of towards the right. Ronaldo takes it through the wall. Courtois says it was on target. And then the following header from the rebound by Palinha is straight at Courtois, and he deals with it well. But a free kick like that, you just got to hope it hits you. You save it centrally, and that's exactly what Courtois did. Yeah, Ronaldo really hit that with power, real drive. Luckily for Courtois, it was just straight at him, and he was able to just push it out. And obviously it went to Palinha, and he's just tried to head it over him and, you know, beat the goalkeeper, but he just didn't get enough on it, did he? And it just sort of went easily through to the keeper. 25 minutes gone. Belgium 0, Portugal 0. Belgium yet to register a shot on the goal. Portugal have had one on target, Ronaldo's free kick that was saved by Courtois. Of course, the winner of this, as I mentioned, plays Italy on Friday night. And Fernando Santos did actually, in Munich actually, Fernando Santos did mention that his team have had 2 days less to prepare, but he did say that the heat and the humidity in Seville is something that his players are probably used to more. So that's probably something that does go in their favour, you could say, in that regard. Of course, they had to play their big hitters as their fate was not secured, unlike Belgium, who could afford to rest players like Tielemans, Torgan Hazard, Vertonghen, Alderweireld and Thomas Meunier, and give the likes of Boyata, Denayer, Trossard, Chadley and Jeremy Doku the chance to make an appearance in the European Championships. Here's Pepe, the sort of old talisman at the back for Portugal and has been for so many years. Ronaldo receives it from Renato Sanchez. Now plays it out to the right with Bernardo Silva. Keeps the ball at his feet. And then he just lays it back to Diogo Dalot as Portugal still have possession. Palinha in the middle. Flicks it forward first time, looking for Moutinho. But he can only pass it straight to Thomas Vermaelen. Ball's high by Sanchez. Diogo Jota made the run through the middle. It's just gone beyond him. Meunier was closing him down. Guerreiro's first touch lets him down, but he still manages to keep the ball at his feet. In the middle now to Palinha. Sanchez. Now to Diogo Dalot. He'll clip the cross in. It's a high one to the back post, looking for Jota. Meunier heads it away to Guerreiro. Portugal keep coming. Into the middle now with Palinha. He'll go and then shoot. And he's curled it, but he's curled it well, and over the crossbar. Yeah, they're just putting balls in there, and it was a high cross from Diogo Dalot looking for Jota, and then Meunier headed it away. It came to Guerreiro, gave it to Palinha, and I think you've got to shoot from that range. There's no wrong in that. He just didn't really do that at all, did he? And he just sort of curled it well over the bar. Well, Ronaldo's free kick is the closest anyone's come. Good goalkeeping by Thibaut Courtois. Of course, he would have faced those free kicks of many a player in the past. And, of course, his shot stopping is very, very good. Thibaut Courtois is probably one of the best in world football at that. Is the big, towering Belgian goalkeeper in all black tonight. A risky ball by the left wing back Hazard. Torgan, that is. Alderweireld's got to do work to just not let Ronaldo to get that under control in the middle. And he did head it straight to Vermaelen. He just smacks it clear into the Portuguese half as Pepe gets it under control. He's about sort of 20 yards away from his own goal. Now Diaz Gives it to Pepe as they've so far not been tested by this Belgium attack, which is De Bruyne, Lukaku and Eden Hazard. Don't think many sides can say that's better than that in this tournament, as so far the Belgians have been non-existent on the attack in front. Renato Sanchez to Ruben Diaz. Looks to try and find Diogo Jota, and then Alderweireld heads it away. Meunier then knocks it forward on the right-hand side. Diaz steps in ahead of De Bruyne. They're just first to everything. Portugal, remember, there's a little bit more hunger, a little bit more work rate in there that probably the Belgians haven't quite got at the moment and maybe grasped in this game. So maybe he's asking just a little bit different of this Belgian side. Guerrero has managed to keep that high ball from the right-hand side in play from the left touchline, in which he was actually, half of him was actually off the pitch. He tried to head that back into play now. Portugal have it in their own defence with Pepe. Back to Patricio. I think one thing you could say early on for Portugal is they're trying to get in behind the three centre-backs of Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Vermaelen, especially down Alderweireld's right-hand side, through the middle, that is. Ronaldo's the man they're going to look to. Ronaldo at what? His sort of late 30s is still a fast player, still fit as ever. Lukaku had the ball going to him from Tielemans' header. It was a good challenge by Palinha, as that, of course, is why he's in the team to do tonight. And then Vermaelen just knocks it back to Thibaut Courtois and uses all his experience there just to be composed and not make sure he's overcooked the back pass in any degree. 29 and a half minutes gone. Belgium 0, Portugal 0 at the Estadio La Cartua in Seville. A warm evening in southern Spain. And, of course, we've already seen Amsterdam play host to Wales, Denmark yesterday, in which Denmark won by 4-0. Of course, Wales did lose their call at the end with Harry Wilson being harshly sent off. And, of course, Italy, Austria saw Italy nearly be dumped out in 90 minutes, but had it not been for that offside call against Arnautovic, it would have seen the Italians go home. They won an extra time by 2-1. Chiesa and Pessina with the goals. And then the reply from Sasha Kalajdzic was not enough for Austria and Franco Foda, as their side were out. And Czech Republic beat 10-man Netherlands earlier in Budapest with goals from Tomáš Holeš and, of course, Patrick Schick fall for him in the tournament, as Eden Hazard goes down under the challenge of Pepe. And, of course, you're listening to this on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. And that foul just took place on the left-hand touchline right in front of the VAR screen, which, of course, has not been in use tonight so far. So the VAR official, Marco Fritz, and his 3 assistants, all from Germany, Christian Dingert, Christian Gittelmann and Bastian Dankert, have had their feet put up so far and haven't yet had to communicate to Dr. Felix Breich about any decisions. Guerrero then has it for Portugal. Going down was João Palinha, but then Belgium now have it as Ronaldo loses out, and then Torgan Hazard's ball was just too short and didn't have enough purchase on it through low to Lukaku. Here's Diogo Dalot in the middle to Ronaldo. Backheels it all the way back into the midfield from Diogo Jota. That was very silky indeed by Cristiano Ronaldo. Most goals at any European Championship for him now. Of course, he scored a couple at Euro 2004 when his country hosted the tournament. In 2008, he managed to get himself goals as well, 2012 and 2016. And just to actually go through the exact numbers, he managed to score 2 in Euro 2004, 1 in 2008, 3 in 2012, 3 in 2016, and he's got 5 already in 2020. We've not even played, and his team hasn't even been dumped out yet. He's got 5 in 3 matches, including 2 against Hungary, 2 against France, and 1 against Germany in the groups. In what was a real tough group for Portugal, in which they came 3rd out of 4 from. Sanchez up to the right to Dalot. Torgan Hazard puts the squeeze on him and forces Dalot to kind of rush his sort of knock back to Pepe. 30 minutes of the first half to go. Tielemans now out to the left with Jan Vertonghen. Plays in Portugal for Benfica. Eden Hazard just comes in from the left on that right foot to give it to Axel Witsel. Plays it to his right with Alderweireld, who's come up in support. Now Thomas Meunier. Alderweireld again. Meunier again. Tielemans was dispossessed by Moutinho. He was a little bit more switched on, and it is a Belgium free kick. Dr. Felix Breik gives that as there was a foul on Toby Alderweireld as Diogo Jota just clipped his heels as Alderweireld went down. That is enough to give a free kick, I would say. And Belgium take it quick as they don't intend to just play that long. Witsel to De Bruyne, yet to leave a mark on this game, the Manchester City player. Eden Hazard to Lukaku. Hazard's going to run off him. He gets it back to De Bruyne. This is where Belgium do come alive, but unfortunately De Bruyne's pass was straight to Rafael Guerreiro. And then Ronaldo has it in the middle, and Tielemans was snapping away at him and eventually fouls him in an area that Portugal were finding themselves a bit uncomfortable in, given that Belgium put the pressure on. But they've won a free kick inside their own half, around 25 yards from their own goal, where Rui Patricio has so far had nothing to do in this one in Seville. Here is Pepe. Now turns to his left and gives it to Diaz. Guerreiro chips it forward down the left-hand side. Diogo Jota holds off the challenge of Tielemans. Comes inside from his right foot into the middle. Still has the ball at his feet. Now up to Bernardo Silva, who comes in field. Thought about going inside on his left foot, but instead continued on his right. Dalot now to Ronaldo. Comes short for it from the centre-forward position that he's in for Portugal tonight and has been since the tournament began. Renato Sanchez now on the right-hand side. But Marlon's just standing him up, limiting his room around him or the outside of him for that fact, as Belgium have just forced Portugal to go back a little bit here. Final 10.5 minutes to go. Still 0-0 here in Seville. As, of course, what is at stake is the quarterfinals. Portugal still looking to keep hold of the European Championship title for a few more days. Of course, Belgium, one of the sides who would love to win it, are really competing against them. And like many sides in this tournament, they'd love to be winners come the 11th of July. Which, of course, the final is exactly in 2 weeks' time. As Alderweireld has, we've had just one shot on target between both these sides, which is quite astonishing to think given how these sides have attacked in this tournament. But Portugal, who had a bit of a shaky defence in the group stages, have shown tonight that they can be resilient and could be what was so successful for them 5 years ago, as Moutinho is clipped by Jan Vertonghen, who wouldn't allow Moutinho any room to try and play a ball forward or play back. Commits a foul sort of around 30 yards away from his own goal. He just pulls him back there, doesn't he? It was just an arm across Moutinho's sort of left arm, and it's a free kick for the Portuguese in a position where they're definitely going to cross this in. Well, it's a position very much near the right hand touchline where Portugal are attacking. And Moutinho's going to take little stutter up. He crosses in. It's attacked by Palhinha. Ronaldo went for it as well. Palhinha won the header, but it hit a Belgian player in the face. Now Belgium could come and hit them on the break here. Here's Lukaku venturing forward. Palhinha's tried to pull his shirt. He's still got the ball at his feet there, Lukaku, and he should have won a free kick there for me. Dr. Felix Breik, the referee, was practically running alongside him the whole way. Lukaku is one big brute to take down. Whether you're pulling his shirt or actually clipping his heels, he does tend to stay on his feet. The Belgian number 9 and record goal scorer, and of course should have won a free kick there, but they've still got the ball here with De Bruyne. Now to Alderweireld, out to the right with Thomas Meunier. 3 Belgian players in the box he could aim for. He gets it back from De Bruyne. This is nice play. Meunier with the outside of his foot. Not a bad effort by the Borussia Dortmund right wing back. He came in field, came into the centre. He tried to bend it around Rui Patricio, but unfortunately it was off target. But certainly an audacious attempt that was one that wasn't actually that bad. Yeah, if they come off there, you look $1 million, but if you miss it, you know, it's certainly the other way. But it was a good attempt for it. It was a nice build-up play. Him and De Bruyne linking up. We've not really seen enough of that tonight with Belgium, and in particular with De Bruyne. And then obviously just beforehand, Lukaku was fouled by Palhinha, but the referee didn't give it. He actually did have his shirt pulled on him. It wasn't just a little tug, it was a real sort of massive tug on the shirt of Romelu Lukaku by João Palhinha. Portugal got a free kick as Witsel fouls João Moutinho. As both sides in the last few minutes have just maybe thought that the other side has just been a bit too comfortable on the balls. The Belgian fans, the Portuguese fans so far have had nothing to really get excited about so far. The only thing you could say is when Cristiano Ronaldo, the tournament's top goal scorer in Euro 2020 and in the history of the European Championships, nearly added to that as his shot from the free kick from about sort of 25 yards was well saved by Thibaut Courtois, right under his nose and easy for him to push away. Here is João Moutinho. Plays a lovely ball through to Dalot. He's made a really good run beyond the Belgian defence, but the shot from him was a poor one. Flag was raised anyway by Mark Borges. It's the end of the attack, but that could be a potential worry for Belgium should that happen more often. Well, it's a tight call, isn't it? I mean, his arm or his knee might have just sort of leaned forward just a little bit too much. So that might be why the reason is he is offside. But it's a really nice first touch. He's done everything right. It's just the execution of the shot was poor, and it doesn't matter anyway because he's offside. But that's the first time we've seen any sort of wing back for Portugal or Belgium in that fact get beyond their back, get beyond the defence and get a shot at goal. Tielemans gets there first ahead of Sanchez. Just wanted it a little bit more. Now he has an interchange with Meunier on this left-hand side. Crosses in on his left foot. Can't beat the head of Paulinho. Heads it away. Alderweireld heads it to his right to Meunier. Now Tielemans to Meunier. He's got enough to go through to it. Good sliding challenge by Guerrero and actually keeps the ball at his feet. Plays it to Sanchez. He's got a lot of work to keep that ball under control. Took it nicely on the chest, away from De Bruyne and away from Witsel. This is a really good run by Sanchez. He takes a tumble, but he's able to find it through to Bernardo Silva. Ronaldo's to his left. He's got Jota to his left. He's been crowded up by two Belgian defenders, and he's done well to win a corner. Ronaldo's probably saying he wanted it a bit earlier, but it was shut out for Bernardo Silva then, and the next best thing he's got to do is win a corner. But Renato Sanchez made that opening potentially and allowed Bernardo Silva to win a corner. Well, he's a player, he's a confidence sort of player, isn't he? As soon as he's had a couple of good games, Sanchez, he's going to be really fit and fine. Played a lovely ball to Silva. He could have played it earlier to Ronaldo, but he just wanted to wait for the right time, didn't he? Maybe released it a bit too late, but he's won a corner here. Can Portugal make this count? 5 minutes of the first half to go. Still goalless here in Seville. Taken short by Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Gets it to João Moutinho. Silva gets it back. Now it's to Guerrero. He's going to open up on his left foot and strike for a crowd of bodies. He went low. Lukaku comfortably away. Comes out to Renato Sanchez. Looks to try and find Ronaldo. Witsel heads it away. On the edge of the box, Diaz heads it to Ronaldo, but he climbed above Jan Vertonghen and sees... Thomas Vermaelen go down, and it's a free kick for Belgium on the edge of the box, and one that I think Thibaut Courtois will take. Yeah, he gets up above Vermaelen there, yeah. An arm went across the face of Thomas Vermaelen as he sort of just took a bit of a heavy tumble to the ground as well. Some of those Portuguese fans weren't happy about it, but now they just sort of punched the ball away. Vermaelen certainly felt that one. As he's going to be okay to continue. Of course, any sort of facial or head injury for that fact has got to be very well assessed these days, given the protocol and the strict sort of guidelines around that. There is now Thibaut Courtois. Ronaldo's putting him under pressure. That's great feat by Courtois. Real swagger and confidence to do that. There's many a goalkeeper that have tried that and failed, but Courtois was luckily not in that category of failing there. Lovely ball down the line. Through the middle to Lukaku, uses his strength, holds off Diaz to De Bruyne, just didn't quite have enough of a pass on it. He then tried to flick it towards goal, but it was blocked by the Belgian defence. In by Torgan Hazard! Oh, what a strike that is! What an unbelievable goal that is by Torgan Hazard! It just flew beyond Rui Patricio, and Belgium, with their first shot on target, have taken a lead in Seville, and it's Torgan Hazard with his second goal of the tournament. What a brilliant strike it was by the Borussia Dortmund player. Belgium 1, Portugal 0, and Rui Patricio had no chance of saving that. Well, he's really just hit that out of the blue, hasn't he? And the Belgian fans are celebrating, and why wouldn't they be? Lukaku gives it to De Bruyne, and then the shot from De Bruyne gets blocked. It comes to Meunier, and then it got to Hazard, and he just opened up, bang. It's straight as an arrow, and it's difficult for a goalkeeper. Patricio just was in one position and the ball just changed direction. It swerved. It had everything. Could maybe say Patricio's sort of feet are just not moving. He sort of just stays in the same position, so he's always training to try and push it forward, but take nothing away. It's a really well-struck goal by Torgan Hazard, and Belgium have the lead. Well, you did think that Belgium was going to have a bit more about them. in the first half. And of course, they have got proven quality all over the pitch. And it just proved there with Torgan Hazard's goal. What a goal it was as well. Scored in the win against Denmark, the equaliser 10 minutes in the second half. What we're talking now, 10 days ago. And he's just struck one from about 18 yards that was one that the goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, found difficult to deal with. It almost looked like his feet were just sort of stuck together in the turf and he just didn't have enough time to move. And the ball certainly changed direction, all right, as it was difficult for him to save. As that is around about sort of closing point of the first half. In by Jota on the left-hand side. Beyond Bernardo Silva, not beyond Dalot. Through to Bernardo Silva in the box. He cuts it back to Ronaldo, but Witzel's there to just play it to Torgan Hazard, the goal scorer. And Belgium are just going to play their way out from the back here as Hazard gets it from Vertonghen. Vertonghen will get it back. No doubt he's going to clear this now. Touch, and then does. Gone off Ronaldo and out for a Belgium throw. And Ronaldo is telling his team to push up because the defence in the midfield are sitting too deep, and he's the only one at the moment really sort of trying to win the ball back for Portugal. You can talk about great goals in this tournament. Of course, Patrick Schick's against Scotland at Hampden Park. We saw a great goal by Andreas Christensen. Mikael Damsgaard for the Danes against Russia. We've also seen that one with Torgan Hazard. De Bruyne was fouled. Advantage played by Felix Breich, the German referee. Hazard, Eden, that is, gives it to Meunier. Cross goes in, and Dalot tried to clear it forward, but he's miskicked it, and it's actually gone all the way through to his goalkeeper. Luckily, straight through to him, and De Bruyne has still stayed down. You can see that there's a mark on the turf, given the nature of the challenge by Joao Palhinha, who's been booked. The enforcer type in the midfield has done that well tonight, breaking up the play, but he was late and reckless with that foul there, the Sporting Lisbon central midfielder. Yeah, he was. De Bruyne has just carried the ball through the middle. Palhinha, it was a cynical foul. He actually gets the ball first, I think, to be fair. As De Bruyne just sort of heavily hits the ground as he goes in with his knees. That hurts. And of course, the surface is a little bit dry, and obviously you're not sort of skidding along it, just sort of bouncing off it. But he does wrap his sort of legs around him, does catch De Bruyne. Then Hazard gave it to Meunier, and Meunier just rushed it there, didn't he? On the edge of the box, he tried to cross it in. Well, De Bruyne still receiving treatment. I mean, he went down in the Champions League final with something a lot worse than that, in terms of him getting a knock from Antonio Rudiger, and of course, which forced him to sort of have facial injuries. 1 minute added on. The difference at the moment is Torgan Hazard's goal, set up by Thomas Meunier. And then he opened up. He had that little bit of space, knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he caught hold of it all right. As it just changed direction at the last minute, as Patricio just didn't see that coming, I don't think, as Diaz tried to close it down. He turned into it, but it went away from him, and the goalkeeper, Patricio, at 33, did get a hand to it, but couldn't claw it away enough, as it just sort of brushed off his fingertips and into the net, as his brother, Eden, was the first man to celebrate with him. And Roberto Martinez, the coolest man in the place, when celebrating that goal. But it's a blow for Portugal because they were defensively pretty spot on. They didn't give Belgium a sniff in the game, and the opportunity really wasn't there for them to get any chances at Patricio's goal. It was quite a comfortable half for the defence, but then Torgan Hazard from about 18 yards just scores that effort as De Bruyne is back up on his feet. He's got dirty knees following that heavy sort of fall he had onto the turf. And play now continues as we are going to probably play an extra 60 to 90 seconds due to the delay of De Bruyne's injury. It's Bernardo Silva trying to get away from Torgan Hazard. Now Dalot in support. Cross goes in. Ronaldo attacking it, but it's over his head. Away by the Belgian defence is Guerrero. Crosses in again, looking for Ronaldo. It didn't go through to him. Martino competed for it. It's Palhinha. He'll shoot, but he's driven it well and truly over the crossbar again. Yeah, the Belgian defence heads it away. It comes to Palhinha. I think he might just take maybe a touch or two extra there as he just goes off balance when he takes the shot. But they, of course, were shouting for a handball, the Belgians, from Bernardo Silva early round. It comes to Palhinha there. Witzel and Alderweireld just get in front of him to limit the angle he's got to shoot it in, and obviously just hit it too well and over the bar. Well, it's half-time in Seville. in a game where the chances had been few and far between. The Portuguese had the closest one with Cristiano Ronaldo's free kick going around the wall, but it was straight at Thibaut Courtois. It was the pretty comfortable save for him. And then with Belgium's only real sniff at goal, they scored from about 18 yards, 20 yards, where Torgan Hazard scored his second goal of the tournament as his shot dipped and swerved and beat the goalie Patricio, who was unable to stop it. But it's half-time in a very warm and hot Seville. It is Belgium 1, European champions Portugal 0.
Yes, thank you very much, Matt Isles, for excellent first half commentary with myself. Matt will be back in a couple of minutes as we dissect my first half, and Matt will give us his first half thoughts. For half time, Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Common Job's coverage of Belgium against Portugal in the last 16. I'm your alternative host, Russ Finn, alongside your alternative commentator, Matt Isles. And what a fantastic first half that has been. And a few question mentioned chat people in the chat for that first half. Luke Turton, who was co-coms in the game earlier on alongside myself. He thought it was either going to be Ronaldo or De Bruyne with the first goal. And then he put, after the goal went in, well, I was wrong, laugh out loud. Obviously, you was. And then Paul, who got in touch before the game, has said, what a strike against the winner play, really. And would you tend to agree with that? Melee was against the winner play that when Belgium took the lead?
Yeah, I think it was slightly against the run of play. I think obviously Belgium had not really been at it. I think they'd been probably quite passive, very sort of side to side, not what you associate with them, and especially in this tournament. But obviously it was that moment of quality that's got them in front. I don't think there's been, Portugal really dominated. I think they've had the better of the two. But as I said, they haven't really been dominant, and you could tell before the game there wasn't a lot in the two sides. It's been pretty clear to see, but it does maybe feel slightly against the run of play, I must admit. So I do actually agree with Paul James's comments there, to be fair.
Yes, and and if you remember, if anyone remembers the band JLS, they had a song called One Shot, and Belgium had one shot, and they did make it count in the match with that fantastic goal from Thorgan Hazard.
Yeah, they did. I think obviously you can talk about the strike and the way he's hit the ball. I think, it's obviously not many players can hit the ball from that sort of distance, and it changes direction and swerves. For a goalkeeper, it's so difficult to deal with. And I just think Patricio's really took back by it. He doesn't expect the shot to come in. And obviously, as you get older, your reflexes and obviously your anticipation slows down. It's not really there as what it was. And he's just sort of rooted in the position he's in. He tries to claw it away, but I think if he shifted to his left a bit more, maybe anticipated that Thorgan Hazard was going to shoot, I think he would have probably have kept that out and it would stay at 0-0. But take nothing away from the Thorgan Hazard goal. It really was a special strike, and I think you had to put that up there as one of the goals of the tournament.
Yes, and I saw a tweet at half time from one of the other YouTube channels which I watch the content on, and they put, now that was something Thorgan showing Eden how it's done. Go on, like, then he's beginning to show, because Eden has not really been involved in this game, neither has Belgium, to be totally honest. But with that goal, is Thorgan was showing Eden how to strike a ball from that distance to be a quality player like that. Yes, I know Eden doesn't need to be reminded how to do that, but if he's not having many chances or when he does, he's not hitting him that cleanly, and then his brother comes out and shows him how to score a goal that really. It must be something brilliant and it probably something which will probably Thorgan will be in Eden's face if Eden doesn't get on the score sheet tonight after the match, you would think, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Eden Hazard, since he's probably gone to Real Madrid, has not quite captured the same sort of form he was at Chelsea. Obviously, you look at it, I think Hazard's playing very down the middle, so, he's very much having to not really play as wide as much. I think Thorgan obviously is doing that for him, and it's the same for De Bruyne with Meunier. So obviously they're almost acting as inside forwards, playing in the middle and just trying to make the attacks happen with Lukaku, try and link up that way, but they've not really got in that position. But yeah, he certainly showed his brother how to strike a ball, but I don't think as you said, Russ, Eden Hazard needs reminding of that, because we've seen him score so many goals where he's just opened up on his right foot and he just bent it into the corner. But obviously, in terms of a strike like that and how the ball changes and swerves and changes direction in the air, I think maybe Eden might have to do a bit of shooting practice wherever he is, and invite his brother around, I think, to show him how to do it.
Yes, and if we go on to the overall game, then as all we mentioned that Portugal probably be better side and are the better of the chances. What does Fernando Santos' side need to do better in the second half to get back into this game, Matt?
I think the movement from the front three has been, not very much trying to get in behind the Belgian defence. I alluded to it on commentary. I think Ronaldo's done it a bit too often, and I think that's not a bad thing. I think Jota and Bernardo Silva are almost playing as wingers and not really as forwards. They're almost alongside the midfield at times. They need to try and stretch the Belgian back three. We know they're not the quickest. You turn them and the ball gets found, you've got every opportunity of, getting a shot on goal on Thibaut Courtois. So hope that that can improve in that sense. I think Renato Sanchez needs to play slightly higher. I think Palhinha, yes, he's been booked, but he's still, one of those players that will be that protective shield in front of the back four. I think you've obviously still got that with Moutinho, but I think Sanchez needs to be involved a little bit more. They just need to try and find the balance, because I think the way they're set up is just slightly defensive. And I think what was good about them against the French for sort of an hour, 65 minutes, was the fact that, they had Sanchez, playing those balls into sort of Ronaldo, giving it to Jota, giving it to Silva. We've not really seen that tonight. And I think you need to get the little man on the ball just a little bit more if they're going to be getting back into this one.
Yes, I think they're really doing. From a Belgian standpoint, then they were 1-0 up, they had a lot of possession, came against the run of play, so to say, towards the end of that first half, with Portugal having the better of the chances. What did Belgium need to do better to build on this lead that they've got at the brain, Matt?
Well, I think obviously, they need to probably get Meunier and they need to get Torgan Hazard involved a little bit more. I think obviously Tielemans and Witsel are two midfielders that are not really going to move forward a lot for you. I mean, obviously when you've got De Bruyne and Hazard playing as the three, they're very much just sort of going to just do the running for you through the middle and be the attacking sort of standpoint. I think maybe they need to move the ball a little bit quicker. There were flashes of Lukaku, Hazard linking up. De Bruyne has not really seen a lot of it so far. And I think when De Bruyne doesn't see a lot of the ball, he does it for Manchester City often. He kind of just shifts out to either side because he's so desperate to be on the ball, look up and play that ball forward, isn't he? But not really seen that from him so far. But see, the most important thing is they're in front, but certainly in the performance, they can improve. And we know that seeing them in this tournament and throughout the last few years, that they are a side very, very capable of a lot more than what we've seen tonight.
Yes, and looking on that first half overall, we mentioned that Portugal being the better side, but Belgium, obviously, they've got that all-important stat which we all know that matters. The goal in front. Actually, the two managers there, Matt just as we wait for the players to come back out for the second half. Which manager do you think would be the happier of the two at half time?
I'd say probably Roberto Martinez. His side are in front. They haven't played well, but I think they're probably answering a question that, what you probably need in the tournament. You might need to have that game where you've not been good for 45 minutes, but you're still in front. Obviously, I think what they're going to have to do now is they're going to have to just try and Portugal to give them a bit of an onslaught. Because obviously, they went behind against Germany, didn't respond. They'll be hoping, with this being the last chance saloon, they come out and give it a bit of a go. I think Fernando Santos would, if it was 0-0, you'd certainly say he was the happier of the two. But I think in terms of them conceding right near the end of the first half, I think it was a real bitter blow and one that, just didn't really help his side's cause. But I don't think he should be too upset because they're still well and truly in this game. And it only takes that one big opportunity for Ronaldo or Jota or Bernardo Silva to have and that ball to go into the back of the net.
Yes, you're absolutely spot on there, Matt, as the Belgian players are just about to make their way out onto the field for the second half as they're just getting ready to walk out. Now, I think the Portuguese players, I think they're already out there for the second half and the crowd are ready. I think the players will now be ready, the officials will now be ready, and I think our commentator is ready as well. So I'm back over to Matt Iles for the second half. And Matt, can we have more goals in the second half, please?
Hope so as well, Russ. And yes, I am very much ready and standing by to bring you the second half. Portugal's grip on the European Championship trophy is slipping even more. It's loosening, isn't it? Of course, champions 5 years ago, in which they only won one game in 90 minutes. They drew against Hungary. They drew against Iceland and Austria in the groups. They got enough on 3 points and scraped through by the skin of their teeth. Croatia, they won in 120 minutes. They beat France in 120 minutes as well. And obviously the quarterfinals, they went all the way with Poland. So they're very much having to do it the hard way, just like they had to do 5 years ago. But for Belgium, a side that we know are so beautiful to watch at times and entertaining, that first half was not the usual thing you see from the Red Devils, but it was one that is most importantly got them in front and 45 minutes away from a second consecutive European Championship quarter-finals. The second half is underway as Portugal will go from left to right in this second half. Belgium in all red, Portugal in their change strip of light blue and with sort of vertical stripes of sort of burgundy down the shirt, and of course light blue shorts, and sort of the socks with sort of the burgundy lines, black lines and green lines around it, as well as Renato Sanchez is on the ball early on. I will read you both sides out. 22 players on the pitch. Of course, no changes made at the break by either side. Here is Diogo Dalot. Comes in field away from Eden Hazard. Now to João Palhinha. Got booked in that first half. So I'll go through Belgium from goalkeeper to attack. It's Courtois in goal, back three. Alderweireld for Tongen Vermaelen. They got the four of Meunier, Tielemans, Witsel, Torgan Hazard, the goal scorer. De Bruyne, Lukaku, Eden Hazard, as there is a foul on Eden Hazard. He was clipped into the middle there by the Portuguese midfielder João Moutinho. And it's a Belgian free kick at the start of the second half, which you are 75 seconds into. And the subs for them: Mignolet, Sells, Boyata, Denayer, Dendoncker, Carrasco, Mertens, Trossard, Doku, Prat, Benteke and Batshuayi, as Kevin De Bruyne is just sort of squatting. Maybe still feeling the effects of that fall he had in the first half, or whatever. He does look at a bit of discomfort as Roberto Martinez is talking with Thierry Henry, one of his backroom members. Dries Mertens looks like he's going to be being introduced very early on in this second half, and De Bruyne has only just come back from an injury himself. May look like he's going to have to come off in this game, of course, just so early on. And it will be Dries Mertens who's going to come on. Sean Maloney is going to go through the final instructions with Dries Mertens, one of Belgium's most capped players in the top 5 in their history. Still an important player for Napoli. Portuguese side, while that's taking place, Patricio in goal, back four of Dalot, Diaz, Pepe, Guerrero, three in the midfield of Moutinho, Palhinha and Sanchez, and then the three attackers of Bernardo Silva, Ronaldo and Diogo Jota. And it stems from that foul in the first half where De Bruyne sort of just overexerted his knee as he went into the ground, and he's sort of saying his game's done, isn't he, the Manchester City midfielder? The subs: Lopez, Silva, Semedo, Font, Mendes, Fernandes, Danilo, Ruben Neves, Gonçalves, Sergio Oliveira, João Felix and Andre Silva. So confirmation that De Bruyne has now been replaced by Dries Mertens at the start of this second half. And of course, Belgium will be hoping that the injury is not as bad as what they first fear. Of course, he's going to be so important for them, however far they go in the tournament. He's the man who has been so good for Manchester City over the last few years. Dries Mertens is on, and there's another Belgian player down. It's Vertonghen this time, who's gone down. He was competing in the air with Bernardo Silva. I think he took one into the side as Bernardo Silva just left an arm in on the left-hand sort of rib cage of Jan Vertonghen. Courtois with the kick. Goes all the way through to Torgan Hazard. Silva comes in to win the ball back. Sanchez and Dries Mertens collide with each other, but Sanchez comes away with it. He's fouled by Tielemans. Referee decides against the advantage for Portugal. It was only a few yards away where Sanchez was fouled by Juri Tielemans. The referee is from Germany, Dr. Felix Breich, supported by Mark Borsch and Stefan Lup as his assistants. Georgi Kabakov is the Bulgarian fourth official with the VAR. The four of them. The VAR is Marco Fritz, his three assistants, Christian Dinget, Christian Gittelmann and Bastian Dankert. Here come Portugal as they take the free kick shot. It's given away by Renato Sanchez. Belgium now win it back. Here's the goal scorer, Torgan Hazard. He's got his brother Eden on the left-hand side of him. He's got Dries Mertens in front of him. Lukaku to his right. Slides it through the middle looking for Dries Mertens, but there to intercept and defend it well with João Palhinha. He was doing that in the first half a lot, and he's had to do that at the start of the second half. We are 4 minutes into it. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Torgan Hazard's goal is the difference between the two. Scored it right at the end of the first half. And that's a lovely ball through to Lukaku. Pepe leaves it for Patricio to come out and just clear it back into Belgium's half, which he did very, very well to do. And then Tongen's header to Torgan Hazard was one that Hazard was scrambling to keep in play. And he headed it back into play, but Portugal win it back. Then Belgium win it back in the middle with Eden Hazard. Moutinho slides in on Dries Mertens, but Mertens got the ball away in the nick of time as the Belgians have possession. Vertonghen to Eden Hazard, just gets pulled on by Diogo Dalot. That's a free kick, and Dalot's got himself a cheap booking for, I think, actually kicking the ball away. It certainly wouldn't have been for the little pull on Eden Hazard. He just got his body up, had a little sort of pull on his trap area in between the neck and the shoulder and forced him to go down. And of course, as a result of that, the referee blown his whistle. Dalot kicked the ball away, so he's got a cheap booking, and it becomes the second Portuguese player to be booked tonight, along with João Palhinha. Mertens to Torgan Hazard. Remember, the winner of this plays Italy in Munich, the Fußball Arena, in UEFA competitions, or as it's known outside of that, the Allianz Arena, home to Bayern Munich. What a game that would be, whoever is playing Italy, whether it's going to stay as it is with Belgium going through all the Portuguese comeback. It's going to be exciting. That game, of course, being played on Friday night will be the first of the quarterfinals. There's still more to decide. As, of course, this is the fourth of the round of 16 games. There's 4 more to come over the next 2 days. We're bringing you all of them on Commentary Hub. Tomorrow, Mike Arneman brings you Croatia against Spain in Copenhagen. Bucharest is the set-in at 8 o'clock as Jack Cunningham brings you France, the world champions, against Switzerland. And then on Tuesday, John Kane brings you England versus Germany from Wembley. Capacity of around 45,000 due in at the National Stadium. And then the last game, Russ Vernon brings you Sweden against Ukraine. With, of course, the winner of that facing England in the quarterfinals, should England, of course, beat the Germans and go through. Dalot knocks it to Bernardo Silva. 6.5 minutes of the second half gone. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Sanchez slides it through to Dalot. It's got enough on it to go through to him on the right-hand side. He crosses in, goes to the back post, looks for Ronaldo to run in on it. Meunier just kept his calm, headed it away. It's dropped to Moutinho on the edge of the box. Hits Tielemans. He shouts for handball. Moutinho, referee says no. And then on it now is Eden Hazard, who just gets away from Bernardo Silva and just rolls it out to the right so immaculately there. He just almost glides, doesn't he, through the pitch. There's Eden Hazard, just beats players for fun and absolutely does love doing it, doesn't he? Meunier tries to find Torgan Hazard. It's just a little bit short for him. Bernardo Silva comes back and covers well, and his ball forward for Dalot is touched out of play for a goal kick by Torgan Hazard. Of course, we are live on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. We're on our YouTube page. We're on our Periscope page. Of course, there's a live stream through Twitter. And as well, we are on JB Sports, another YouTube channel helping our coverage grow and expand during the tournament. We're also on Mike Arneman's YouTube and the Commentary Live Twitch page. It's so much for you to get your head around. You need to probably get a pen and paper just to write down how many channels and what platforms we are on. Here is Pepe for Portugal. Still no sign of a Portugal route back in the game in the early part of the second half. Here's Ronaldo, been kept quiet so far. Of course, looking to become international football's greatest marksman if he scores tonight. Level with Ali Dea on 109 goals, the master hot shot for Iran. Hazard plays the ball forward for Lukaku. Wanted it played to his feet rather than to run onto it. And he's just saying to Hazard, just settle down. He didn't need to give that ball away. Did the Real Madrid man. As the ball was by Moutinho forward, Ronaldo knocks it into himself. It was by Jota's flick into him. Ronaldo hits it. It was blocked by a Belgian defender. And they're making a bit of a mess trying to clear it. And so much so that Alderweireld's clearance has bounced off the back of Meunier and gone out for a Portugal throw, which is taken quickly. Here is now Diogo Jota. Low cross in. Easy for Mavalen to clear it away. Up into the air. Lukaku with the header. Heads it behind him. Dries Mertens and Pepe chase him, but Pepe just takes it away from him and then calmly knocks it down the line through the left to Guerrero. He has the little 1-2 with Diogo Jota. Now Diogo Dalot. Here is Bernardo Silva. Dalot again. 2 Portugal players are about to come on. João Felix and the number 11 Bruno Fernandes. Not too bad replacements to bring on, is it? Here is now Moutinho to Ronaldo on the edge of the box. Vertonghen with the foot in. Big foot in as well on the edge of the box. Hazard away from Moutinho. Got away from Bernardo Silva. They wanted a free kick. Referee says no for Belgium's point of view. But he's giving it a free kick to Portugal. They were angry about that. Dr. Felix Break, the German referee, has been very lenient with fouls. But he did feel as though that one by Torgan Hazard on the left-hand side of the pitch right next to Fernando Santos on João Moutinho was enough to commit a foul and give away a free kick and be enough for Portugal to send the ball in. But I think these changes are going to happen now. If it was my guess, it'd probably be Bernardo Silva off, as it is. So off he goes, and João Felix is going to come on. So Moutinho off for Felix, and Bernardo Silva off for Bruno Fernandes, who yet to really shine at this tournament so far. Did not start against the French. Came on in that game. And he's done so again tonight with Bernardo Silva, who's been regularly took off in the tournament, actually, being replaced here tonight in Seville. A very warm Seville as well. Sort of neighbouring countries, aren't they, them two in Portugal? Southern Spain, Andalusia, Seville and Real Betis, the two sides in that area. Let's go have a throw on the Belgium left-hand side. Dallo takes it to Pepe. We saw Belgium do a lot of this in the first half where they were passive and, worked the ball into the areas, but Portugal were doing the same here. They've deployed the same tactic, but it's just not quite working for them so far. Sanchez up to the left with Rafael Guerreiro. He'll get the cross in. There's a lot more of them going in, looking for Ronaldo, but it's a high one. It's over Ronaldo's head, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick as Ronaldo just wants that game sped up, as I think he knew in his mind that Thibaut Courtois was going to take his time in receiving the ball back from the ball boy behind the goal. Well, Fernando Santos with an arm on his side, probably doing a bit of thinking. He hopes that Felix and Fernandes can have an immediate impact and change Portugal's fortunes. It's not going their way at the moment. Their grip on the European Championship trophy that they won in 2016 is slowly being loosened and not going to be in their hands no more. 11 minutes of the second half gone. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. No chances yet for either goalkeeper to have made a save from at all. Ruben Diaz now has it, the Manchester City defender. Lovely ball forward, looking for Felix. He'll do that, getting beyond the defenders, and it was just a little bit too much for him as he sticks his thumb up to say that is the right idea. Didn't do enough of it, did they? Bernardo Silva. Jota hasn't really done it neither. Ronaldo's done it a few times, but Felix will play just behind Ronaldo. He'll do that. He'll look to just play off him, and if Ronaldo flicks it on or the ball goes through to him, we'll try and get him behind. Ronaldo has a little interchange with Dallo into the box. He goes, Jota turns and shoots, but he's put it over the bar. He took it under control. He had two Belgian players circling him. He did manage to eventually get the shot away. It was a flash sort of shot by the Liverpool man, but he's off target. Yeah, Ronaldo does well, uses good power to get away from Torgan Hazard, then gives it to Dallo, then it comes to Jota again. He just takes it on that sort of left foot of his, and then it comes to him on his right foot. He's just tried to get it over the keeper, but he's put it over the bar. But better play from Portugal. It was quicker, it was faster, it led to a chance on goal. Belgium in the spot above it here, though. Jota on the edge of the box to Sanchez. They made a bit of a mess of the goal kick. And then defending well there is Eden Hazard, who has been fouled by Renato Sanchez, who's kicked the ball away himself. He might get another caution. Felix breaks. The referee wants a word with him. He's saying it's a foul. Sanchez not happy with that and not agreeing to the decision as you'd expect. But Eden Hazard is used to taking a few knocks from opposition players. Gets off the canvas and isn't affected by it at all. Yeah, him and Sanchez having a bit of a tussle there, aren't they? And just pulls on his arm, doesn't it? It's enough for Hazard to go down. Sanchez wins the ball in the middle, and then Palhinha's pass has gone off the back foot of Fernandes, and then Palhinha got it back, played it to Diogo Jota, but Jota just didn't probably expect it. It went beyond him, and that for a throw on the Belgian right-hand side as Kevin De Bruyne looks on. His evening cut short, remember, by injury. We're not too sure how long that's going to be. We'll certainly find out in the sort of immediate aftermath of the game and sort of the days after this tonight. Remember, on Commentary Hub, this is the fourth of the round of 16 games. Denmark, Italy and Czech Republic already through. Wales, Austria were already beaten as Dries Mertens going through. But the flag is now eventually raised. He was offside as the ball was played through to him via Lukaku. Ran about sort of 18 yards out. He made the run into the box. Pepe luckily was there to cover and not allow Mertens to get the ball under control. But the flag was eventually raised. But yeah, as I was saying, we already saw Denmark cruised through yesterday against Wales in Amsterdam. We saw Italy win in extra time against Austria. We also saw the Czech Republic beat the 10 men of Netherlands 2-0 earlier in Budapest, which is probably the most surprising result of the tournament so far. Fourth round of 16 game, fourth place up for grabs in the quarterfinals. It's Belgium currently holding it. They lead by 1-0 with an hour gone. Here's Sanchez. Turns in the edge of the box and gives it to Guerrero. Sanchez gets it back as he's alongside him. High cross in. Felix attacks it. It's on target with his head, but Courtois dives and saves. He heads it into the corner, but Courtois was in a really good position to just shift his feet and just save it there. He did get a lot of power beyond it, Felix. It's a good jump, but he just needs to just try and put a lot of power, really get Courtois to dive down low, but it's not a bad effort. It was on target, but yeah, Felix was unlucky there. Lukaku heads it to Mertens, gives it out to the right with Meunier. He saw that he had Guerrero closing him down and played it quick to Meunier. Portugal win it back. Belgium have been quite sloppy in possession at times. They're just trying to rush the play a little bit. And it probably isn't really a lot for them to actually do it from. Or really there's not a great need to do so. Here's Ronaldo, who's going to drive at Witsel through to Jota. This is a good spell for Portugal. Can they make it count? On the left-hand side with Guerrero. Now to Ronaldo. Guerrero gets it back. Fernandes is in the middle, shouting for it. Guerrero doesn't give it to him. It gives it to Jota instead. Jota then plays it high to Fernandes in the middle. Here's a chance to shoot. Fernandes hits it on the half volley, but it was too high and over the bar. Yeah, Fernandes just found that position, didn't he? He just sort of stayed there, didn't really move at all, and he just sort of took it on the chest and hit it, but it was just too high the moment it left his foot. But just showing that Felix chance again. He gets in between Torgan Hazard and Vertonghen. He gets up well. It's a really good high cross from Sanchez. He can pick a player out in there, and then he heads it at goal. The goalkeeper Courtois dived to his left and comfortably dealt with it. Mertens pokes it to the right with Witsel. Now, here is Thomas Meunier, the man who's got the assist for Torgan Hazard's goal. Tielemans, remember the winner of this plays in Munich on Friday against the Italians. What a mouth-watering clash that's going to be. As Belgium, as it stands, are dethroning the current European champions, Portugal. Here's Vertonghen. Now to Hazard. Now he gives it to Torgan Hazard. This is lovely play by the Belgians. Here's Lukaku on the edge of the box. Gets on his left foot. Takes aim, but it's high again. Yeah, they've always gone high, these opposition players, haven't they? Fernandes just did it a few minutes ago. Lukaku tried it here. That Eden Hazard ball through to his brother Torgan was absolutely sensational. First time pass, didn't even look at it and just slid it through. And then it comes to Lukaku. The first touch sort of just goes high off his foot and he just tries to set the volley up, but he hits it over the bar. He doesn't really sort of turn his body into the shot, does he? And always drifts over. Foul by Meunier on the Belgian right-hand side. Dr. Felix Breich, the German referee, made that decision quickly as Ronaldo was fouled by Meunier. Got a toe to the ball first, but did stand on the foot of Ronaldo, who's okay, despite sort of screaming in a bit of pain. Here's Pepe. They need their captain and record goal scorer and record appearance holder to try and get them out of jail. He did it on Wednesday. He's done it throughout the years. Hungary in the Euros 5 years ago. His hat-trick practically got them through. He scored goals against Wales in the tournament. Of course, he's already got 5 in this tournament. 2 against Hungary, 2 against France, and 1 against Germany. He's yet to score tonight. Had that free kick that Courtois saved, and that's the only sign of life that Ronaldo has had in trying to score for Portugal. As Dallo gives it to Pepe. Now it is with Ruben Dias. Plays it to his left with Rafael Guerrero. Down the line to Renato Sanchez, who's starting to play a little bit higher. I said at the interval that they needed to do that, Portugal. That was why against the French they looked quite potent and quite threatening at times, especially in that first half. Felix to Diogo Jota. Felix just couldn't quite get the ball under control as he received it back from Jota. Renato Sanchez. He gets the ball in, looks to just try and get it in the area for Ronaldo to attack it, but it's just too short, and Courtois deals with the bouncing ball well. Rolls out to Tielemans, who gets away from Bruno Fernandes. Now out to Torgan Hazard. Now Tielemans has it back, the Leicester City man. Through to Torgan Hazard again. Now Eden Hazard, the captain of Belgium. Keeps the ball at his feet. Just loves to take on players, doesn't he, Hazard? And he gets tripped there, does he, by Fernandez? Referee says no. It's a Belgium throw anyway, as he's just keeping hold of the ball, just to wait for, I believe, is probably his brother to take, Torgan. He'll take it. He's just saying for the players just to push on. Lukaku and Hazard have shifted over to that left-hand side to just try and get the ball under control from this throw. Mertens is in front as well. Eden Hazard comes short for it. The touch lets him down as Sanchez intercepts. Wriggles away from Eden Hazard. Now Felix has it and backheels it to Rafael Guerreiro. Jota and Ronaldo are forward. Here is Renato Sanchez. Turns back and gives it left to Guerreiro. They've not quite had that real attacking intensity in this second half yet, Portugal. Sanchez gets it from that lovely ball through by Guerreiro. Can't get around Witsel. That was really good midfield play by Axel Witsel. You talk about how Palhinha's going to do that for Portugal, and it's been very evident to see tonight. Yes, Witsel's not had to do that a lot, but when he has had to step in throughout his career, he's so good at doing that, isn't he? And that really is something that really makes Axel Witsel tick, the man who is the second most capped player in Belgian football history. Incidentally, in the record is Jan Vertonghen. Here is Bruno Fernandes. There's a lovely ball on the outside of his foot from the middle up to the left with Guerreiro. He's starting to come forward a bit more. More crosses are coming in as well, as he can only see his cross head out for a throw by Thomas Vermaelen, who went to ground first before he actually headed that away. So it wasn't the most convincing of headers, but it's still dealt with the danger enough. 21 minutes of the second half gone. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. And the game listened to on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. And we've got 4 more games to bring you from the round of 16. 2 tomorrow, 2 on Tuesday. As Diogo Dalot tries to get the return from Bruno Fernandes, but it's cannoned off a Belgian foot and goes all the way back to Thibaut Courtois. Tomorrow at 5, Spain-Croatia in Copenhagen is brought to you by Mike Arneman. Then Jack Cunningham brings you France against Switzerland from Bucharest. Wembley plays host to England versus Germany. John Kane is bringing you that one from 5 o'clock. And then the last last round of 16 game is Sweden-Ukraine. Russ Vernon is bringing you that one. As, of course, Jana Andersson's side look to reach the quarterfinals of the Euros, and Ukraine look to reach it for the first time in their history. Here is Torgan Hazard, plays the ball, but he can only play it straight to Guerreiro, who comes infield to get the ball under control. Palhinha thought he'd lose out there to Eden Hazard, but didn't manage to just play it to his right to Dalot quickly there as Eden Hazard was closing in down. Here is now Ronaldo, Guerreiro to Jota. Here's Renato Sanchez, tries it from range, but he's off target again. He's not afraid to do that. If he sees an opportunity and his eyes light up Sanchez, he will strike it at goal, but he just didn't hit it well enough, as Andre Silva is going to come on, the man who had a fine season for Eintracht Frankfurt, so much so that he's actually been linked with a move to Arsenal in the last few weeks, as there is rumours that Mikel Arteta is pondering the idea of getting rid of Alexandre Lacazette. As down on the ground is Eden Hazard. So play has stopped, so Eden Hazard can receive treatment. Felix Breik, the German referees, let a lot go tonight, is just trying to calm down a situation that might be arising with Fernandes. And I think Jan Vertonghen, Pepe and Lukaku are having a bit of words as well. Dr. Felix Breik, the German referee, telling the players to go away. It was Fernandes who went in on the ankle of Eden Hazard. It was quite a late challenge, actually. Just sort of scrapes down the back of his ankle. They do hurt, don't they? As you can see there, and then he sort of just brushes his boot. Hazard goes down. He's sort of wiggling his foot as well as he's clutching his ankle. Martinez was shouting that he wanted a foul, and Eden Hazard's getting up and probably is okay. Probably just going to walk it off as he's going to receive some fluids on board. Pepe and Lukaku being called over by Felix Breik. I think no doubt that the referee just wants that confrontation to not get any worse than what it has, and hope it's just a one-time thing. So chance for Portugal to make a change. Andre Silva goes on. Off goes Diogo Jota. The Liverpool man hasn't quite been able to deliver tonight for his country, and there's another forward on in Andre Silva. So Portugal fans can't say they're not trying to attack and get back in the game. Plays for Frankfurt, as I mentioned. He was second top scorer in the Bundesliga. Got more goals than Erling Haaland and Wout Weghorst for Wolfsburg. And Adi Hütter in the German Bundesliga. 29 in 34 for him. Well off Robert Lewandowski's 50-goal mark that he got this season. 40-goal mark that he got, I should say. Here is Guerreiro now for Portugal. And that is incidentally Portugal's third change of the night. Belgium still have another 4 they could bring on. Portugal got another 2. Should it go to extra time, they will get a 6th sub. But as it stands, it is Belgium going through to face Italy on Friday in Munich as Ronaldo tries to chase down the ball on the left-hand side. But it's just got too much on it, and the race for him to keep it in play is run as he just goes into the advertising hoardings just to try and stop himself. Lukaku flicks it to Eden Hazard. Pepe got an arm in on Eden Hazard, just knocked him off track a little bit, gives it to Patricio, and then he just plays it to Diogo Dalot. Well kept calm there by the Portuguese goalkeeper. Then Dalot gives it straight to Meunier on that right-hand flank, and not really too sure where Dalot was aiming for, to be perfectly honest with you. There was players down the middle that he could have looked for, and he just rushed that past there with Belgium now have possession. Here is now Eden Hazard. Good challenge by Dalot. Remember, of course, every challenge he makes, he's walking a tightrope and running the risk of getting sent off. We've already seen 2 red cards in the round of 16. Harry Wilson and Matthijs de Ligt get sent off for Wales and the Dutch, respectively, over the last 2 days. Courtois with a lovely ball out to Alderweireld. Through it goes to Lukaku, away by Diaz, who watched that well. Of course, he knows Diaz, if he misses that, that ball's going to travel all the way through to Lukaku and probably get a shot on goal. And, of course, given his record this season, probably hit the ball in the back of the net. Here is Bruno Fernandes. Now to Palinha. Now Hazard. Ronaldo. Foul there was there on João Felix. Referee says yes, free kick. Going in from behind with that standing challenge was Thomas Vermaelen, who left one in on João Felix there, who's still on the ground. And then he does get back up to his feet. And he just tries to flick it over Vermaelen's head, and Vermaelen just didn't want to allow Felix to get around him and just takes the book in and moves on. Thought he scored against Finland until it was given as a Lukas Radecki own goal on Monday night in St. Petersburg. So, of course, he's still waiting for a major tournament goal. Is Thomas Vermaelen. So, it's a Portugal free kick here. This is Ronaldo Reigns. It's central. His typical pose as he stands with his arms wide and his feet and legs apart. Centre it is. There's 3 Belgian players in the wall. Witsel, Lukaku are 2 of the 3. Got to be right that Courtois gets this wall right. Deep breath by Ronaldo. Diaz, Sanchez and Pepe are acting, I think, as the decoys in the front of the Belgian wall. Ronaldo takes it and he's actually hit Renato Sanchez, who completely got in the line of the shot. Ball is a high one through the middle. Courtois takes comfortably and then just dives down on the ball to just allow the Belgian players to just get out a little bit more. But Ronaldo, who hit that straight, looked like it might have been heading on target. Of course, you do never know, but it did actually look like he was on target, and the keeper saved it. 73 and a half minutes gone, 17 in total. It actually hit Dries Mertens as Sanchez just sort of got in the way of Mertens. It is Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Torgan Hazard's goal in the 42nd minute separates the 2 sides. As it stands, Portugal, the European champions from 5 years ago and current Nations League holders, are getting beat in Seville, and it will mean that Belgium will be playing Italy in the first quarter-final on Friday. As Hazard flicks it to Axel Witsel. He's got Dries Mertens, to his left. Finds Mertens now in the middle to Eden Hazard, who's looked fresh and looks like the old Hazard that we saw at Chelsea, and he caught Bruno Fernandes as he played the ball back to Axel Witsel there, as Fernandes was trod on by Hazard unintentionally, I must admit. Came listening to us on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. It's on JB Sports as well. Of course, a partner and a fellow YouTube channel. We're on the Commentary Hub YouTube page, we're on the Commentary Live Twitch page, we're on Periscope, and we're on Mike Arneman's YouTube page if you're watching it through that. So we've got so many different outlets and platforms that we are on. It is hard to keep track of, but I think I've tried to make it simple as possible. And of course, there's the stream on Twitter as well that I did forget about. Remember to give us a follow at Commentary Live 1 on Twitter, as Silva tries to do an interchange with Felix. They wanted a free kick. Referee says no. It's Guerrero. Ronaldo goes for goal, but it's straight at Courtois. And the referee, Felix Breich, the German, played a good advantage there as Felix went down. Vertonghen went in with a sliding challenge. It was actually a well-timed challenge. He does get a bit of the ball as Felix tries to flick it over him. Quarter of an hour left of the game. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Portugal need to find something if they are to keep hold of their trophy and, more importantly, take this game to extra time. Remember, there's no second chances now. Last chance saloon in the round of 16. You lose, you're out. You don't get a chance like the group stages to put the wrong into a right. This is it now. This is knockout football. Lukaku stayed down. Torgan Hazard knocks it off Diogo Dalot, and then Pepe goes in with a late challenge on Torgan Hazard. That's incensed the Belgian players. The linesman Stefan Lupp has come on, and that's really just sparked the fuse, isn't it? As Axel Witsel and Pepe want words, and Pepe gets a yellow card for it. That was a rash challenge. It was rash indiscipline by Pepe. He was certainly got that in his locker. He could smile all he wants, but that was a clear booking. That was a cynical foul as Lukaku finally receives treatment. I think there's going to be another Belgian player who's going to receive the treatment. Just got in a bit of a tangle with Palinha as Lukaku had his foot stepped on, and then he had a boot from Palinha as he was sort of just trying to get the better of him and caught him in the face as he was acrobatically falling. Then Torgan Hazard was absolutely clattered by Pepe then, and there was a foul on Diogo Dalot, or he thought anyway. Torgan Hazard actually won the ball, and then the foul by Hazard on Pepe was clear frustration by the experienced Portuguese centre-backs. We've seen a lot of challenges in the last few minutes. As João Felix went down looking for a free kick. It was a clear dive. Luckily for him, the referee didn't see it and didn't book him for simulation, so he can count himself quite lucky there. But Felix Breich has had to deal with the game maybe getting a bit hot, matching the weather that it is in Seville, in southern Spain. Andalusia, it is the region. And Portugal are now going to make another change as Sergio Oliveira and Danilo Pereira are going to come on. Lukaku looks like he's going to be heading off just for a little bit, just to receive some extra treatment. Of course, he did take a blow to the head. Not a significant blow, but one that's got to be monitored by the medical staff and Roberto Martinez. So João Palinha has been booked, comes off. Danilo Pereira comes on. They replaced each other in the France game after Pereira was feeling the effects of being hit in the face by Lloris after that mistimed punch by the French keeper. And Sergio Oliveira has come on for Portugal. Ronaldo goes down under the arm from Meunier. Felix Breich had a good view of that. He was right in front of it. It was down the centre of the penalty area. He tells Ronaldo to get up, and we'll get confirmation who Oliveira has gone on for. I do believe that's actually João Moutinho, but I will get a clear view on that. Torgan Hazard kicks the ball away as a free kick has been given to Portugal. Bruno Fernandes, as we know, does like to say his piece to referees. It was Lukaku that barged into him. Clear free kick. And, of course, no punishment for Torgan Hazard. So, ball out from the right finds João Felix. It's Renato Sanchez who's actually gone off as Oliveira has gone on. So that's confirmation of that change. Guerrero now to Oliveira, the substitute. Cross goes in. Looks to try and find Diogo Dalot, who made that run. But then the clearance in the air by Torgan Hazard is one that goes into the air and comfortably goes to Thibaut Courtois. Well, the way Belgium are playing, we've seen a lot of performances like that in the tournament. We've seen England win 2 of their games playing like this way. We saw the French do it against Germany in the opening game in Group F for both those sides. That's a good challenge by Dries Mertens, or it looked anyway, on Sergio Oliveira. Felix Breich disagreed and is giving a Portugal free kick. The game is just getting a little bit bitty, a little bit now nasty, with some challenges going in. There's a lot wrong with that challenge from Dries Mertens, but play continues with this free kick. Out to the right with Diogo Dalot. Here's Pepe. Now to Bruno Fernandes. They need him to bring some magic. Ball goes in. Silva attacks it. But the Frankfurt striker heads it over the bar and is off target. Yeah, they're resorting to putting crosses in, aren't they, Portugal? They feel this is their best chance to score. Fernandes in the middle of the pitch, around about 20 yards out with a high cross in. It's a lovely one to attack from. If you're a striker, Silva heads it, but he heads it over the bar. 10 minutes to go. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Denmark, Italy, Czech Republic already through. The winner of this plays Italy in Munich on Friday night. And of course, whoever that will be as it stands, it's Belgium. If Portugal to come back, whoever is going to play Italy, it is going to be one hell of a match. As Felix is fouled by Toby Alderweireld, he then just clears the ball away. There's been a lot of that tonight, a lot of just players just kicking the ball away, and Alderweireld has been booked for it. So he joins Vermaelen in the book for the Belgians tonight, as Felix Bryke is now probably going to be even more aware of these little fouls in there and players just kicking the ball away. Felix was fouled there on the right-hand side of the Belgian area. Here is Pepe to Fernandes. Ball is found. Dalot has made the run beyond Torgan Hazard. The first touch let him down, and then Torgan Hazard has to send it out for a corner. He's had a really good night tonight as the Borussia Dortmund man. Of course, filling in because of Timothy Castagne's injury. And he's really done a good job since he had to go there in the Denmark game. And since then, he's done well as well. Fernandes with the corner, and it goes. Attacking it is Ruben Diaz, and that's a brilliant save by Courtois. It came at him quickly. He didn't have to move. He didn't have to dive. And he just fisted it away. But Ruben Diaz attacked it, got up and meant it, but he was unable to get it beyond the goalkeeper. Here's Pepe, who stayed up. Crossing with his left foot. It's going to go all the way through to Ruben Diaz, who stayed up there. It's now come to the midfielder. Wow, Felix, I think it was, from about 18 yards. He heads it. He strikes it over the bar. But that's the closest Portugal come in the second half. Good to see that Diaz header. Yeah, he attacks it really well. Gets in front of Vermaelen, but he just heads it straight at Courtois, who's unmovable, unflappable there. Just stays calm. Just make sure he gets a good enough hand to it. He does exactly that. Well positioned. Well, it was only a matter of time before one corner, one cross was going to go in and be met by a Portuguese head towards Courtois' goal. That's what happened there. But unfortunately, Diaz just couldn't get it away from the keeper, and it was too straight and easy for the keeper to deal with. Here is now Diaz. We're edging closer to the finish. Belgium heading to the finishing straight in front. Can it stay like that? Ball in towards Ronaldo. There's two Belgian players defending it, and the shot goes in by Guerreiro, who hits the post, and Belgium really are hanging in there at the moment. Hazard away from Bruno Fernandes, out to the right with Mertens. Now Lukaku's in front of him. Still on this Portuguese left-hand side. Lukaku shows good feet to get away from Oliveira, and he wins a free kick, and that will do for Belgium. While Diaz has had that header that hit the keeper saved, Guerreiro has that chance to hit the post. It's a clear foul by Oliveira as he just steps in front of Lukaku and trips him, but the ball was looking for Ronaldo. Vermaelen and Vertonghen both went in the middle to meet it and try and head it away. It comes to Guerreiro, hits it low, catches it sweetly, but he's hit the post. He was really, really unlucky there, and fortunately it bounced back into play, but it couldn't bounce to a sort of light blue shirt. Diaz, Pereira, Dalot and Guerreiro in the four-man wall. Lukaku is standing over this, as is another Belgian player. There's Dries Mertens. It's going to be Lukaku takes, he goes high, but it's over the bar. Yeah, he really hasn't had his shooting boots on tonight. He goes high, it's the right technique, but the effort was just always higher and rising. 6 minutes to go. Belgium 1, Portugal 0 in Seville, the Estadio La Cartuja, southern Spain. In the high temperatures and the humidity, it's been a good absorbing second half. Here's Andre Silva, thought about the shot, but lays it to his right with Ronaldo. How his country needs him. Ronaldo shoots. And Courtois did dive, but in the way of it was Thomas Vermaelen. It's another Portugal corner. It is them on the surge for the equaliser, as Belgium are really having to hang in there. It's got to make sure Belgium, they don't just get rattled. They just stay calm, keep composed. They're under the cosh at the moment. Fernandes with the corner. And there's a header from a Belgian player that heads it behind and back into the middle of the goal. Luckily, no one for Belgium, no one for Portugal was able to just glance it goalwards. It is a Portugal throw, which is taken by Fernandes to Oliveira. Fernandes gets it back. No doubt he'll put the cross in. He will. Beats the two men, Tielemans and Torgan Hazard. Guerrero just gets their first header, Dries Mertens. Oliveira to Fernandes. Thought he was fouled by Torgan Hazard. Referee says no. And now he sets our way. Romelu Lukaku, one-on-one against Diaz. He's on his left foot. He's going to probably open up on his left foot. And then his touches just let him down as the ball just sort of skidded off his foot. And then Daniel Pereira's there to defend it. Good play there by Meunier to get there first ahead of Rafael Guerrero. Just wanted it a bit more. Felix pulls out of the challenge on the left. In the middle now to Witsel. Here's Lukaku. A second would kill it off. But Lukaku can't get around Pepe, who defends it well. 4.5 minutes to go. What a really good end to this game we've had. Both sides are starting to really attack. It's opening up. Portugal now have it on the left with Ronaldo. Away from Dries Mertens. Oliveira out to Dallows. He got the legs to get there first. Slides in. Wins it well against Torgan Hazard. Good play by Dallo. Fernandes crosses in. Poor delivery. Away by Tielemans. Witsel slips and then still keeps the ball at his feet, but has not conceded a corner and instead concedes a throw as Fernandes puts him under considerable pressure. But Portugal sense they're getting close to an equaliser as Eden Hazard looks like he's pulled up maybe as he was just holding and rubbing his back thigh, and that's going to be his evening over the captain. Yannick Carrasco, he's going to come on, and when a player like Eden Hazard and the quality and what he brings to Belgium says it's over and gives you the sign of waggling the finger to say his game's done, you take that on board as Yannick Carrasco of Atletico Madrid comes on for the final sort of 3.5 minutes of this game. And a man who, of course, was a title winner in Spain with Atletico, along with Portuguese teammate Portuguese player João Felix, a teammate of his in Spain. So Dallo's going to take this throw. In it goes from the Man United right back who spent the season on at Milan. It's away by Jan Vertonghen, now wearing the captain's armband on his left hand, on his left arm. That yellow armband as Daniel Pereira gives it to Rui Patricio. Belgium playing really high. They don't want to let Portugal go and hit them in behind, but they have now here with Silva. He's on the corner of the right-hand box. Crosses high towards Ronaldo. Really good header away by Meunier, and then Dries Mertens clears it away. What a vital header that was. That was Ronaldo territory, wasn't it? And had Meunier not been there, I think Ronaldo heads that in as the Portugal captain. He's craving a goal, as is his country. In by Guerrero. Ronaldo attacks it. It's Andre Silva it falls to. But Courtois smothers himself. And it's hurting the process, but he won't care as he's denied Andre Silva a goal. Well, Ronaldo plays the assist maker here, or he tries to. He flicks it back. Silva is onside. Torgan Hazard's ball watching. He slides in Silva, but Courtois just stands up, dives down low, and just doesn't allow Silva to get under him. It's really good goalkeeping by Thibaut Courtois. Well, it really was. Portugal this second half from very early on have been adamant on putting balls in. That's the only way they're going to score against Belgium. But they are still being shut out at the moment against the Belgian side who've conceded just one goal in this tournament so far. Beautifully took under control by Diogo Dallo, who's up there acting as the centre forward. But eventually Yuri Tielemans just stops him in his tracks and Belgium get it away. Lukaku and Diaz now facing off against each other. This is a powerful run by Lukaku. He's away from the challenge of Diaz. He's played it to Yannick Carrasco. This could seal it. Gets onto his right foot. Carries it on. Into the box he goes, Carrasco. Decides against shooting. Diaz is there to just put him off as he's now by the last line. And then Portugal, and in particular Bruno Fernandes, do well to scamper back and win it off Yannick Carrasco. And Meunier makes a good challenge. And it's a Portuguese throw. Final 60 seconds of normal time. Can Portugal get a late equaliser? Sergio Oliveira to keep their hands on the trophy for now. It's, as it stands, going away from them. Their grip will be gone. Here is Sergio Oliveira, the Porto midfielder, clips the ball to the right-hand side of the box with Dallo, flicks it towards Ronaldo, but stepping in front of him was Vertonghen, not allowing him to get the flick on or a foot to it. And Thibaut Courtois gives the shout, "That's my ball," and Clumsy collects it and gathers it and just goes to grounders. Plan A for Portugal is not quite working out, but the Devils in Belgium are very much not being heavenly towards their opponents tonight and not allowing them anything to score from and not allow extra time, which is what Belgium won't want. It's been a game played in searing heat. Remember, it's around 28, 27 degrees in Seville. In Spain, of course, 5 minutes added on. Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Is there going to be a late twist in this game? Kick is gone to Daniel Pereira. Belgium now just going to try and hold on to what they've got. Forward ball towards Guerrero. Meunier with a good header away. He's had a really good second half defensively. He's been really on top of things. He's made vital headers away, as has Thorgan Hazard on the other wing-back area on that left-hand side. Felix gets it from Ronaldo. Gives it to Fernandes via a Witsel block. Ball forward to Silva. Takes under control. Just couldn't get the shot away. He had that little bit of space, but as he took it down, there was 2 Belgian players alongside him to not allow him any room to get that under control. They're pushing hard, Portugal, but they're still being shut out. Joao Felix. Guerrero through to Sergio Oliveira. Crosses in. Blocked by Alderweireld. It's a Portugal throw on the left-hand side. We have played over a minute of stoppage time. Still 1-0 to Roberto Martinez in Belgium. In the country of his birth, remember, Roberto Martinez is leading his nation, Belgium, to victory and a place in the quarterfinals where Italy will await in Munich on Friday in 5 days' time. Ronaldo to Silva. Here's Daniel Pereira. He then gives it to Fernandes, who opens up, but he curls it over the bar, and he was nowhere near getting that towards Thibaut Courtois and forcing him to make a save. And the Portuguese fans are now starting to think that they're going to get nothing from this and not take it to extra time. Well, the closest they've come was via Ruben Diaz, whose header was saved by Courtois. Then Guerrero had a shot low that hit the post. And of course, you could even say Andre Silva was close as well, but Courtois just dived down low and didn't allow Silva to get it underneath him, as Belgium are looking like they're going to make some movement from the bench. It's the number 19, Leander Den Donker of Wolves, who looks like he's going to come on. A Carrasco has won a throw for his side, as the Belgian fans inside the Estadio La Cartua are the ones singing. As Den Donker there just looks on as Martinez just gives him his final instructions, as maybe he might come on just before this throw gets taken. We'll have to wait. It does look like he's going to have to wait, as Thomas Meunier is going to take it, of course. Pepe saying how long does he want? He did take longer than a few seconds to throw that. Carrasco goes down. Took a bit of a whack on the ankle by Diaz, but it's a throw into Portugal, which is sent up the pitch. Silva can't get it under control. Pepe is there, getting a foot in. Now Andre Silva. Good challenge by Thomas Vermaelen. Fernandes. Thought about the shot. Joao Felix. Clips it in towards Silva. Good head away by Vermaelen, who was just there underneath it. It's really been a real test of the Belgians' defensive shape and position in this second half. Pepe and Meunier competing. Pepe gets the foot in there. Wants a free kick, doesn't get one. Felix Bright lets play continue and has done for the most part of tonight. Lukaku just bullies Diaz into winning the ball there first. Both him and Mertens slide in for it. Diaz then just gives it to Fernandes as he went to ground. Here is Joao Felix. 90 seconds to go. Can Portugal find an equaliser to take it to extra time? Fernandes with the ball in from the deep side of the right. Headed away by Jan Vertonghen. Now Carrasco. Lukaku's to his right. He's got Tielemans to his left. And he tries to feed it through to Tielemans, but it's hit it straight against Daniel Pereira. And all the hard work Tielemans did to try and act as a support in the move counted for nothing and pretty much was wasted energy. Portugal now have it on the left with Joao Felix. In the middle to Andre Silva. Felix gets it back and shoots, but he's off target. He sinks to his knees. He knows how big a chance that was. And that might be that for Portugal in this game. Well, Joao Felix, since he's gone out to the right-hand side, has caused some problems. He's looked energetic. He's looked a real live wire. Good return and good play between him and Andre Silva. He just gets the shot away, but he just drags it. Doesn't really hit it with enough conviction. Well, Den Donk has been waiting a while to come on. He now will come on as Torgan Hazard will be replaced. What a good evening he's had. Not playing in a position familiar to him, remember. His goal is the difference. As Belgium are nearly there. It's just counting the seconds down. As Leander Den Donker will come on for the final few seconds. Almost can't help but feel what it feels like to be a sub in this position when you know you're not going to impact the game, but you're only going to be on the pitch for a matter of seconds. Third appearance at the tournament for him. Ball is forward, away by Toby Alderweireld. Felix to Dinier Pereira. We're over the 5 minutes. Pereira lofts it forward, playing as a centre-back to just get Pepe forward. And then Meunier will then just clear it. And there is the whistle. Portugal are dethroned. European champions no more. It's Belgium who march on and will be on their way to Munich on Friday night to play the Italians in what is going to be an absolutely huge quarter-final clash. Ronaldo could not surpass Ali Dea as the record goal scorer tonight. He's going to have to wait to do it again in Portuguese colours. But the sea of red shirts that are inside the Estádio La Cartua celebrating are the Belgian fans. And it's the sorrow and crestfallen faces in the red of Portuguese fans that have seen their side lose their grip on the European Championships. Belgium with a third clean sheet in 4 games. They were defensively strong in the second half, but Torgan Hazard's wonder goal from range at the end of the first half has proved the difference. Full time, Belgium 1, Portugal 0. They're the 4th side into these European Championships quarterfinals.
Thank you very much, Matt, for great coverage of the commentary as usual, my friend. And one final question to you, Matt. You know what's coming. Man of the match, please.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of candidates. I mean, obviously, it's going to be from a Belgian perspective, but I'm glad to give it to Torgan Hazard. I thought his goal was a fantastic one. Yes, you could talk about how the keeper's positioning was questionable and how he really should have anticipated it a little bit more, but I thought defensively he was superb. You know, he's in a position that's very unfamiliar to him, so he's got to learn on the spot, really. And I think he's done very, very well. You know, defensive positioning was good. There was a lot of times where the Portuguese fullbacks, Dallo and the winger on his side, especially Bernardo Silva, couldn't get beyond him. And I thought his positioning and his awareness for defending and his appetite for that was absolutely superb. And he gets my man of the match for me. But, you know, it's a close run thing. I think special mentions to Thomas Meunier. I thought he was excellent. Made some crucial headers in there. I thought Courtois as well deserves a mention. Made 2 good saves. Ronaldo's free kick and Diaz's header. But, yeah, Torgan Hazard, the man of the match for me. And I think it's pretty obvious as to why, because of that stunning goal. But defensively, yeah, as I mentioned, absolutely spot on.
Yes, so Portugal's grip on the European Championship trophy is now gone altogether. There'll be a new name on the trophy come 11th of July, or from this year anyway. Or will we have an entirely new winner? We'll wait until then to find out. At 8 o'clock on Friday then, Belgium will take on Portugal for a place in the semi-finals. They will play at 8 o'clock in Munich for that game, while on Saturday at 5 o'clock, Czech Republic take on Denmark after Czech Republic shocked Holland earlier on today. If you've enjoyed our coverage today on the channel, make sure you stay with us for tomorrow's coverage. We've got some more great coverage tomorrow. We've got Mike Orneman bringing Croatia against Spain at 5 o'clock. Jan Cunningham will be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow for France against Switzerland in their match. Then on Tuesday, join John Kane as he brings the big one, England against Germany, before I am back in the commentary hot seat for Sweden against Ukraine. But before we do leave you tonight, Matt, if you just look over the incidents again, Portugal in the second half had all the chances with fantastic goalkeeping from Thibaut Courtois and some fantastic defensive play from the Belgians kept them out. And will, in your opinion, will Cristiano Ronaldo now hang up his boots from international level and retire, or do you reckon he will continue in Portuguese colours going into the future?
I think he's going to carry on. I think obviously he's got a World Cup in him left. I mean, definitely. I mean, obviously I think he's got another Euros ahead of him in 2024. I mean, I'm not exactly sure on his age, but of course he will be touching 40, wouldn't he, in 3 years' time, should he be around for Germany in 2024. But, you know, he's a player that's always determined. He's always got motivation. The motivation's there, isn't he? He wants to be, you know, recognised as the greatest international football striker, wouldn't he, with all the goals, and overtake Ali Daya's, you know, record of 109 goals, which he's joint level with. He's still got the appetite, you know, he's still hungry. And I think, you know, players, when they get older, they lose it. But Ronaldo every year just seems to have that more and more and more. And it's testament to him. It's testament to his career. Tonight didn't work out for him, but, you know, he can still, you know, say Portuguese fans at home that, you know, they're going to be seeing him still in their colours in the next sort of few years, I would imagine, without a doubt.
Yes, absolutely, Martin. Excuse me. And just before we do leave tonight, Paul James, thank you for your contribution throughout. Yes, thank you so much for the awesome commentary. Glad you enjoyed it tonight, mate. And during the second half, Matt, we had our friend and colleague JB on. He said, "Evening, Matt. You're doing fab." So he enjoyed the commentary as well. Paul, make sure you come back tomorrow for more great coverage at 5 o'clock UK time for Croatia against Spain and 8 o'clock for France against Switzerland. And then England v Germany on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Sweden, Ukraine at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. We'll bring you those as well. But from myself, Matt, and the team of the Commentary Over, thank you very much for listening to today's coverage of both matches. Join us again tomorrow from 4:45 when we go live with Croatia against Spain. From all of us here, goodbye.